How are you feeling today? Do you feel fulfilled in life? The show will begin in 4 minutes. Are you ready? When was the last time you felt betrayed? When was the last time you felt loved? The show will begin in 3 minutes. Are you ready? What did it feel like to be in love? What is the most painful part of being in love? The show will begin in 2 minutes. Are you ready? Are you ready to be transformed? Are you ready to make a change? The show will begin in 1 minute. I hope you're ready. The show will begin in exactly 30 seconds. Get ready. What if I told you that you can become unforgettable and irresistible to any man you date? What if I also told you that the way you do that is by not saying a word? If that sounds confusing to you, don't worry. On today's show, we're going to be discussing how to make a man never forget you. That way you can become the dream woman that has any man you meet wrapped around your finger. Welcome to the Players Club. If you're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream, please say here present so that I know you're here present and actively participating. How are all of you beautiful souls doing? Okay, so good to see you. So good to welcome you to the show. Who's here today? Let me check on who's here up in the chat today. We got Lenalik here. We got Scotty here. Francine here. SH here. I seen Sharice was here earlier. We got Millie here. Ashley here. Rogue here. Here. We got Catherine here. Ryan here. Brianna here. Who we got up in the YouTube chat? I see Ivy, one of our amazing YouTube members. Mary is here. Viola is here. We got Rose Petal here. We got Coco here. Who else we got? We got Serena here. We got Gabriella here. Let's see. Let me scroll up. We have Irina, who was here very early today. And who else? We got Nadia here. We got Mary here. We got Vicky here. We got Nicole here, one of our amazing channel members. Welcome all you beautiful souls. And of course, we got Missy America holding us down in the YouTube chat as our moderator. And SH and Sharice are holding us down as our moderators in our TikTok chat. Welcome all you beautiful people. And I seen Sharice mention earlier that I should make Scotty a moderator. So, Scotty's been here damn near every day. I think I might have to make Scotty a moderator. We'll see how that goes tomorrow, okay? Maybe we might have a surprise for Scotty tomorrow. All right, chat, let's get started. Time for us to get started. First things first, we're going to talk about. We want you to portray the fantasy. Now, I'm giving you this advice to help you step into the world of a man. I want you to better understand how men think, how they feel. You know, we talk about that a lot in the Players Club, okay? And the emotions that they run through. Now, when I say portray the fantasy, I know some of you that come here often might be thinking, Tomisin, but I thought you don't want us to be falling for the fantasy. So why am I focusing on portraying the fantasy to a man when you're telling me that I shouldn't fall for that with the other men that I'm... Let me let you in on a little secret. Don't tell no one. It's our little secret. The reason I want you to portray the fantasy is because, remember, you're the woman. And so the men are going to be approaching you. When the men are approaching you, they're approaching you based on their attraction to you, their desire to get to know you, all that good stuff. What you have to understand comes natural to men when they meet you before they get to know you. They're building your character in their mind. They're building the fantasy of you. When they see you across the room, I know we talk about your Disney princess movies and things like that, but you have to understand there is an element of Disney princess stories that also affect men as well in different ways. See, when he sees you and he sees you're so captivating and beautiful and you're just standing there, but the way you're standing is so amazing. You're just smiling, but the way you're smiling is just so amazing. Your hair is just hairing, but the way your hairs just is like, it's like Rapunzel. It's so different. And there's an element of fantasy that men play up in their own minds when they see you and you're just there existing. So when they have that desire for you, they start building you up and building you up and building you up in their mind, right? And so you want that to happen. There's nothing wrong with that happening. But however, remember, we're coming at this from the very beginning of the relationship. You want to essentially be able to use that to your advantage. That whole build up that he's going to have of you, that fantasy he's going to build in his mind of you, how amazing you are. You want to use that to your advantage to get him to continue listening to you all the time. Does that make sense? Right? And as you started listening to you, I seen someone say listening in the chat, to get him to keep pursuing you this entire time. So you want to play into that fantasy because you have to understand when a guy is approaching you and a guy is approaching you because he desires you and he wants to spend time with you and he wants to get to know you and he thinks you're fascinating and amazing even though he hasn't met you. That's great. But what you also want to understand is in the process of him pursuing you because he's fascinated by you and he wants to get to know you, you want to play into that, into the ideas he's going to have of you before he even got to meet you. That way you can keep the value that he has started to perceive you as, like the value that he started to perceive you have, and play into that and utilize that to your advantage. Said feed his fantasy. Yes. So I want to acknowledge for you. So we're going to get very specific here because I don't want you guys to get confused here. The specific type of fantasy that I want you to be feeding into of his. Okay. So now, when I talk about a fantasy, you have to understand when men are seeing you and they're desiring you and they want to get to know you. Automatically, if they have a desire to pursue you, they're assuming that you have value. They're assuming that you're a hot commodity. They're assuming that everyone else sees how hot and amazing that you are, okay? So there's a couple of things that you want to be avoiding because you're kind of going to break that fantasy. I know that this sounds horrible, but that's what will happen. See, when he sees you and he likes you and he wants you, right? He sees you as something like to obtain. I know you're not an object, but I just want you to understand this is like this is when his masculine elements start flowing, blood starts pumping. He starts feeling like he's on the hunt. He sees something he likes, he's on the hunt now. So you have to understand a couple of things that shatters that experience for him. One of the biggest things that can shatter that experience for him is you coming up to him. Now, I know this is where some of you are going to get a little bit disappointed, okay? Because some of you see a guy out that you like and you're like, but Tomisin, I want to go up to him. I see a guy that's cute. I want to go and buy him a drink. It's 2024. We have equality. We have feminism, all that stuff. So I should be able to buy a guy a drink if I want, if I think he's cute. I should be able to go up to him and give him my number if I think he's cute. I know that's what you want, but hear me, okay? I want to help you and help you understand when he's building that fantasy of you, that fantasy gets shattered when you come up to him because he doesn't feel like he's on the hunt anymore. And you don't feel like that, oh my God, you're like a Cinderella. Oh my God, you're like a princess. Oh my God, I can barely touch your garment. If only I could elbow all of these men who are just in my way trying to get to you and to just have a word with you, ma'am. If I could just pull you away from the crowd and maybe just have a little conversation with you, you would realize how much I'm willing to do for you and how far you have to understand when men really like you, they want to feel like that about you. They want to feel like they're elbowing people to get to you and they're climbing to the tallest tower and the tallest building and doing all the things necessary just to get, a little bit of conversation with you. They want to feel like it was that hard to get to you, okay? At least the men that we're wanting you to go for, not soy shy boys who can't do anything, okay? We're not talking about those men, right? And so I want you to understand, you want to feed that fantasy. You can't feed that fantasy if you're the one going up to him and you're the one asking him for his number. So you're probably asking me, well, Tomisin, how can I portray a fantasy when I like a guy? How do I communicate that I even like a guy if I can't come up to them, I can't say words to them, and I can't tell them that I think they're cute? What am I going to do? Guys are dumb. Guys are idiots. This is what you do now. And while still portraying the fantasy, you give eye contact and a smile. That's all I want you doing. I don't want you approaching men. Okay, this is another mistake that some of you might make. I also okay, listen to me very carefully, okay? We're going to start early today. I'm going to get mad early today. I don't even want you, when you see a cute guy, don't even bother telling your friend, oh, I think that guy's cute, da-da-da-da. Especially if your friend is the type of friend that when you say, oh, I think that guy's cute, she puts a lot of pressure on you. Bad, okay? Or if your friend is the girl that when you say, I think a guy's cute, she says, oh, I'll go talk to him and start a conversation with him and tell him that, hey, my friend thinks you're cute. Bad. Okay? Don't let your friends do any of that. If you know your friend pressures you when you tell her, hey, I think this guy's cute, that's not good. We don't want you feeling a lot of pressure because what's going to happen is you're going to screw this eye contact moment up because these are supposed to be happening throughout the process of you not getting to know him, throughout the process of you seeing him at this party, at this event, at this grocery store, whatever, okay? At the hospital, some of you like doctors, whatever, wherever you are. This eye contact is supposed to happen a couple of times and it's supposed to communicate nonverbal communication. Hey, I like you. You like me. I think you're cute. If you want to approach me, you can approach me, right? That's supposed to be like your nonverbal communication. But you want to be doing that right. And you also want to be seductive while you do that. You don't want to feel the pressure. So sometimes, unfortunately, I know your friends mean well and I know your girlfriends want the best for you. They want you to be in a happy, healthy relationship. But sometimes your friends can actually make this harder for you, because as soon as you tell them, hey, I like this guy and I want to approach this guy, or I think this guy's cute, they start saying, oh, when are you going to go up to him? Are you going to say something to him? Oh, you should pass him by. Oh, I think he was, and it puts a lot of pressure on you. So then instead of looking at him and being seductive and allowing the moment to flow, you're kind of like, you're so nervous. You're like, oh my God, that's the guy I've literally been talking to my girlfriend about for the past 30 minutes. I think he was actually looking in my direction, and you're like scared now. Excuse me. And it doesn't portray the confidence that you want to portray, and the type of inviting energy that you want to give off, so that that guy comes to you. Because remember, the point of the look and the smile and the eye contact every now and again is not just for the purpose of doing it. You're doing it to be inviting, to give him nonverbal communication that, hey, you can come up to me. That way, he gets the message that I like you and I'm interested in you, but you're not actually going up to him, and he still feels like he's doing the work. Remember, never forget this. I don't care what guys tell you. I don't care what they scream, what they yell, what they try to convince you of. Guys do not want to feel like they didn't do any work to get you. They don't want to feel like that. They truly don't. What they want is to feel like they actually had to put in some work to get you, no matter how amazing you are, right? And anytime a guy tries to convince you that, you know, you're the most attractive when you're straightforward and you go to him, he's just lying to you because he wants to make his own life easier where you're doing all the work. Okay, so never believe that. Right? Guys want to feel like they did work to get you. So that look and smile is supposed to be all the confirmation that he needs to come up to you. Now, let me help you understand something, because I want to make a boundary very clear. Some of you are going to say to me, well, Tomisin, I've got to do more than that, because in 2024, these men are dumb. In 2024, if you don't go up to the men, they won't come up to you. And I try to smile and look at men all the time, and they never approach me. Listen to me very carefully. We're trying to attract for you a very particular type of man. Not every man. A very particular type of man that knows how to go for what he wants. So I'm giving you the cues, both verbal and nonverbal, that you're going to use to attract him. Keep your fantasy intact. Keep the vision of you that he's imagining intact, but also attracting men who are actually capable of pursuing the types of women that they want. Are you following me? We are not trying to build a strategy for you to build a fantasy and be the dream girl of a man who's too shy to ask you out on a date, who's too shy to come up to you and ask you for your number, who's too shy to want to get to know you. Oh, okay, maybe can you come up to me and buy me a drink? I just feel like I'm too shy. I like to play video games and I like to sit on the computer and be a nerd, but when it comes to talking to girls, I don't know how to do that. So if you could do that work for me, that'd be no. Okay, we're not doing that. I'm not building you a strategy to attract those men. Okay, so I want you to understand, in order for you to stay in your feminine and to stay in the fantasy place that we want you to be, stay in your Disney princess era, if you want to call it that, right? We want you staying nice and feminine and not approaching the men. If it gets to the point where you're doing these strategies, like I talked about, the look and the smile, and you're doing it really well, and the guy still doesn't approach you after looking and smiling multiple times throughout the party or the event or the gathering or whatever, let it go. And understand that that's not the guy you even want in your life anyways. Because if he's single and he sees you and he likes you and he's attracted to you and he thinks you look good and he wants to get to know you and he still doesn't come up to you despite you making it clear that you're looking at him and you're smiling and you're inviting him to come and talk to you, if he still can't do that with all those cues, knowing that he wants to get to know you and that he's single, then that's not even a man you want. Because at the end of the day, you're only going to struggle more throughout the relationship trying to get him to do anything if from the very jump he already finds it difficult to do it. Are you following what I'm saying? Okay. So let's get to one of our donations here. Celeste donates $5. She says, thanks for all the gems. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you. We starting this off right. Oh, and thank you to Amor and what is that name there? Happy Nay. Okay, Happy Nay in the TikTok chat who donated as well. So very important you portray the fantasy, the look and the smile, okay? See, this is one of those things where it's basically impossible for me to teach you this, like in terms of us just sitting here and talking about it. The look and the smile, unfortunately for you, is one of these things you're actually going to have to go out into the field and try for yourself in order to get good at it. There's no amount of strategy I can give you to help you do a look and a smile better, okay? My advice for you, okay, if you really want real advice that'll help you, my advice for you is to start off doing this sober. That way, practice it in the mirror, okay, if you need to, or practice it just, in the times where you're out and you're not like super drunk. That way you can feel what it feels like in your face muscles. When you're practicing in the mirror, you want to look what you look like, see what you look like, feel what it feels like in your face muscles to do the smile and the look the right way. And then when you go out into your world, whether you're at a party, a club, a bar, whatever it may be, I want you to start practicing this on different men. It doesn't even have to be the hottest guy in the party. It doesn't even have to be the guy you really want to come up to. You just practice it throughout and see if it works, okay, right? Get your groove on. Because some of you guys ask me, how long should I look at him? Should I look at him for 10.3.5.8 seconds, or is it 5.3.8.7? You need to get good at being able to judge how long is long enough to let him know I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, we're looking at each other, and how long is too long where it just becomes weird and uncomfortable, because you're not supposed to be standing there with your cup in your hand and you're across the room with your eyes wide open like that. That's creepy, okay? But you also don't want the look to be like half a millisecond where you're walking past him and you're like, oh yeah, I looked at him. Don't you know? We were looking at each other for so long. He won't even notice, okay? You want it to be a combination of both, all right? And a balance there where you look at him and it's clear you guys are sharing a gaze here. You smile at him, and then the smile is the cherry on top, the confirmation that, yes, I'm looking at you. Yes, I like you. Yes, you can come talk to me if you have the courage to come talk to me. And that is like you throwing the ball, and the ball is now in his court. So he gets to do whatever he wants with that ball. Don't be disappointed, because at the end of the day, if he is the man you're looking for, he will come to you and approach you. If he's not the type of guy you're looking for, you should be happy that when you threw the ball in his court, he didn't take it. Now it's obvious to you he's not the type of guy you're looking for. All right? Does that make sense to you guys so far? Okay. Someone said I'll just be standing there like, right? It's just something that you learn over time. All right. There's only, of course, I'm a man. So there's only a certain threshold of what I can teach you on how to be attractive to men and things like that. But I can't teach you how to be like a woman. You understand what I mean? So you have to go out and practice this on how to do this in a feminine way that is seductive, that is inviting, is really important to the men, that gets them to want to come up and talk to you. Trust me, once you start doing this well, it will become very easy for you to find the guy that you like in the party, know that that guy also sees you and likes you as well, and get him to come up to you. Trust me, also, don't think that this has to be something that, only the girls with the biggest of dump trucks and the most voluptuous of yitties that look like supermodels, size zeros, with beautiful smiles, like those are the only girls that can do it. Trust me, there is, of course, there's a threshold. I won't say that looks don't matter, but once you pass the threshold of being good looking, and especially above average good looking, doing the look and the smile will work for you anywhere you go. Right? You're always going to be able to attract at least one or two guys with the look and the smile wherever you go. Right? So don't be so worried thinking that, I guess this probably only works if I'm a 10 out of 10 or an 11 out of 10. All right. You have to be attractive, obviously, but then past being attractive, it's all about your aura and making sure that you're doing this right. Okay. SH says looks matter a lot. It's a door opener. Looks do matter. I will never, guys, you guys know. I'm your guy. I try to help you, but I'm going to do my best to tell you the truth. So I'm never going to talk about guys and what they're into and then tell you that looks don't matter at all. That's a lie. All right. Looks definitely matter. But I will say something that you need to take note of is that there is a threshold, meaning that past a certain point, more looks doesn't make you any necessarily more attractive, if that makes sense, because your attractiveness then takes into account your whole aura, your personality, what you're like, how easy it is to get along with you and joke with you and laugh with you. That is also what, also builds your attractiveness as well. But once you get past this threshold of being, attractive and someone that, is easy on the eyes, however you want to describe it, then it becomes all about the other stuff, the inside and all the other stuff. Okay. But I won't tell you that looks don't matter. Come on. We're talking about men here. Okay. I don't want to lie to you. So, number one was to portray the fantasy. Okay. So number two is to live up to expectations. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, well, what are the expectations that I do have? Okay. What are the expectations that guys have of a girl that they're approaching? Let me explain this to you. Remember how I talked to you at the beginning? When guys are approaching you, are they like you? They're building this idea of you like, oh my God, this girl is so beautiful. I don't think I've ever seen someone like her, whatever it may be. I want to get to know her. I want to get to see her. I want to see if I can ask her out on a date, right? He's obviously going to be, I shouldn't say obviously, he's going to be making the assumption himself. If I think she's attractive, if I think she's attractive and I can take notice of the fact that she's attractive, then other guys will also be able to take notice of the fact that she's attractive. Meaning, I know she looks good. Everyone else thinks she looks good as well. So there's competition for her. Meaning, when I go up to her, it shouldn't be necessarily super easy for me to just go up to her and immediately she's like, oh, I've been waiting for you to come up to me the entire night. Oh my God, you're the most handsome man on this earth. Oh my God, can I sleep with you tonight? It shouldn't, they feel within themselves, that's not how it should be. That's not how it should go. It shouldn't just come to the snap of their fingers and be at their doorstep like DoorDash, right? Because when they see you and they build you up in their mind that you have value, they're expecting that because you have value, it's hard to actually get through to you. So by the time they do come up to you, by the time they do start a conversation with you, you're not going to be heavy on the compliments, okay? In fact, you're going to be a little bit mean flirt. Okay. And we're going to get to the type of flirting you should do. But what I mean by that is you're not going to be doing a whole bunch of, oh, you're so big and buff and strong. Oh, you're so tall and amazing. And you're so much more handsome than all the other guys. Oh, your shirt's so nice. Like, you don't need to be going over the top with the compliments. In fact, when a guy comes up to you, you don't need to compliment him at all. And as weird as it sounds, here's the thing, and I want you to understand this. As weird as it sounds, when a guy comes up to you, he doesn't expect you to be head over heels in love with him. He doesn't expect that. Why? Because he's coming up to you because he has an innate desire to get to know you and at least understand you, have a conversation with you. So his expectation is not necessarily that you're so enamored by him. He's the one making the move. He's the one pursuing you. He's the one trying to make this work and see if when he puts his best foot forward, if he's going to get somewhere. So he's not expecting that as soon as he comes up to you, that the door will be wide open and he can just walk in. He's expecting there's going to be a little bit of an introduction. You're going to have to warm up to him and you're going to be judging throughout the time that you guys are having a conversation, whether or not he likes you. I know this sounds simple in theory, but the thing about it is this can become really confusing to you when you hear a bunch of other people say, well, go up to the guys that you like and you should message them and you should call them and you should go for what you want and this and that. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know it's 2024. I know we have equality. I know there's feminism. Please don't do that. You won't attract the type of guys that I know majority of you are looking for. Because I know majority of you aren't looking for a guy who wants to be treated like a princess. And I know majority of you aren't looking for a guy that you have to mommy or baby. You guys are looking for a manly man, a big dog, okay? So we want to put you in a position to attract big dogs, not put you in a position to attract shy boys and to attract soy boys that sit in the corner and they can't ask you for nothing. They can't do nothing for you, okay? That's probably a different show with a different host, with a different person on a different name, okay? That's not this show. We're getting you some big dogs. So you got to live up to the expectation that this stuff is not supposed to be easy. So as he's asking you, he's obviously going to come up to you. He's going to ask you your name, where you're from, what you're into, and things like that. You're obviously going to answer the questions. Now we're going to get to how you answer the questions. You're going to be a little bit vague here, but there's a strategy here. You're going to answer his basic questions, though, about your name and where you're from and your friends and this, because he's going to attempt to strike a conversation with you. Okay. Now, of course, throughout this process, he's going to ask you for things like, your number, or he's going to ask you for your Instagram. He's going to ask you for something. This is where we're going to put a pro tip in here. Don't tell anyone about this. Don't share this with anyone. I want this to just be our little secret since you're here watching me today here, okay? When you're living up to expectations, remember I told you he's expecting it to be a little bit difficult, not supposed to be a walk in the park when he comes up to you and comes to pursue you. Shh, don't tell anyone. When he asked you the first time for your contact information, you're going to say no. Shh, 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 shh. Don't talk about this with anyone, okay? When he asks you that first time, you're going to say no. There's a very special reason for that. You want to live up to that expectation that, I'm not really feeling like this. Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling you. I don't know if you're my vibe. I don't know if you're the type of guy I would even want to get to know. I have a lot of stuff to do, not a lot of time. You see, my watch is going extra fast. I got to be here one day, there one day, here the next day. I don't know if I can be bothered to go out on a date with you. I know it sounds silly. You're like, Tomisin, this is so dumb. I know it sounds silly, but you have to understand. You have to understand. When a guy comes up to you, because remember, there's a very important strategy here. When a guy comes up to you and he's approaching you, right? He's putting himself on the line and he's taking an emotional chance, not a physical chance, right? He's not going to get hurt, but there's an emotional chance that he might get rejected, okay? That's painful. Guys don't want to be rejected. So when guys really want you, they don't want to just, let it go the first chance that they get. And what you're doing, actually, it's very important, okay? There's a very important psychology to everything you're doing here. What you're doing is you're putting him from the very beginning. You're setting the dynamic that you're going to have to work extra hard for me. It's not just going to be, hey, you come up, you say your name, introduce yourself, you get my number, then you go on with your night as if like I was here worshiping the ground that you walk on. No. The way that you get access to me is by putting your best foot forward, and still you're going to have to convince me to actually want to spend time with you. I know that sounds manipulative. It is. That's why we call it the Players Club. But I promise you, you're going to start shifting the dynamic into your control, where you're in power, and you're going to start from the very beginning curating the dynamic of your relationship to the type of treatment that you want. Okay, does that make sense? So I'll say that again as the little side note. It's the pro tip. Okay, we're not going to talk about this with anyone else. The pro tip is when he asks, because they're going to ask you for, nowadays, we're in 2024. So this is why this is such a great tip, because there's multiple ways for him to contact you. Okay, so don't get nervy that, if I say no to the first thing, he's just going to walk away. I promise you, in 2024, he knows, he's smart. There's multiple ways to contact you. So if he goes straight for the number, and you say no to that, he's going to say, okay, well, can I have your Instagram? If you say no to the Instagram, he's going to say, okay, maybe Snapchat, or is your number better, right? He's going to flip flop and try to find one thing that he can get, okay? At least the guys who really want this, okay? They don't want it. They don't want to take, and here's the thing. I know this is going to sound weird, but you want a guy in the type of mood and in the type of mindset that I'm not just going to take my first no. I feel like we're vibing, even though you're not complimenting me or telling me that I'm super cute. I know you are looking at me. I know you're smiling at me. I know you like me. So I'm here, and I'm not going to just take the first no, okay? Not that I'm going to press or anything like that, but I am going to press a little bit, okay? Because I know we have a thing. I might just have to do a little convincing. Maybe if I take you out, maybe if I make this really nice and luxurious. But I know there's a yes in there, okay? You want him kind of on that fence where he's like, nah, I know. If I just press a little bit, you're going to say yes. I just got to do it right, okay? So that's good, right? That's good. Kitty said a hunter should like the challenge. They do, right? And you have to understand, especially to see the men that you're trying to attract, the big dogs, right? Think about the mindset that they already possess in their everyday life. I always tell you the way that a guy goes about life is the way that he's going to go about his relationship. So the guys that are the big dogs, right? They're used to going for what they want in life. They're used to getting what they want out of life by reaching for the stars, grabbing it, taking control of things. You understand? That's how you become a big dog as a man in this world. So I say that to say they're expecting a challenge to get the most attractive, beautiful, desirable women. So when you challenge them by saying no the first time, the big dogs aren't discouraged by the first no. The big dogs will say, hey, actually, well, okay, if you're not comfortable with the number, can I get your Instagram? Maybe we can have a chat, da da da. And it's good all the way through, okay? In fact, you're living up to the expectations when you do that. Are you following what I'm saying? Don't get nervous, guys, because I know some of you are like, but Tomisin, I don't know. If I say this to a man, if I say no the first time, maybe he'll just walk away. Perfect. We don't want you going on a date with the soy boy who is going to be discouraged by the first time you're not absolutely validating him, telling him he's the best thing since sliced bread and telling him that you're in love with him. We want guys who are, hardened enough and, a big dog enough that just you saying no the first time is not going to make him shiver in his boots, okay? And also, you want guys that can read between the lines, because think about this logic as well. If you're smiling and looking at him, then he comes up to you, guys are having conversation, then he asks for your number and you're like, I don't know, I don't like to give out my number, right? Type of thing. He knows it's not really a no because you're uninterested, or else we wouldn't have had this conversation. You wouldn't have looked at me. You wouldn't have smiled at me. Guys who get it, they understand that. They understand, oh, okay, I'll just go through a different avenue because it's not really a no, or else we wouldn't be here having this conversation, type of thing. And you want guys that can read into those signs, because those are the guys who have the critical thinking skills to be able to understand what's implied but not said. Are you following what I'm saying? We want you being with smart, intelligent, and emotionally intelligent men. This is also kind of a way to weed out the emotionally intelligent men from the men who aren't so emotionally intelligent, okay? Not to be mean to those men, but some of those men who lack that emotional intelligence to be able to read situations properly, they're harder to even be in a relationship in general with, because they can't properly connect or understand how you're feeling if you're not specifically like saying it exactly word for word. That can be very frustrating, okay? So we want to attract big dogs into your life, and big dogs who are emotionally intelligent into your life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay. Yours Naki says, what do you say when refusing to give the number? That's a great question, actually, and one I can actually give you a direct example on. So there's a type of no that you're going to say when it's just like flat out no and you're just not interested. Then there's a type of no that you're going to say where to someone who is emotionally intelligent, they know that no is like, it's not really a no. So let me give you an example. If a guy comes up to you and asks you for your number, okay, and he says, oh, yeah, so I love having a conversation with you. Can I get your number? Right? And you say, no, not a chance. And you walk away. That's obviously like, I'm not even interested type of no, okay? Now, if that guy comes up to you and he says, hey, can I have your number, right? After you guys have a conversation, you're like, I don't like to give out my number to strangers. It's just not my style. I don't really know if I can do that. I don't think I can give my number out to a stranger. I mean, we literally just met. I don't think I can do that. I don't know. And then right as you're saying that, right, he's gonna say, oh, it doesn't have to be the number. I can get your Instagram. Do you see the difference between a no that feels like I'm not interested and a no that feels like, oh, convince me, sell me on the idea that I should give you my number or I should give you my contact information, okay? You want to put guys in the position, sell me, show me what you got, right? To explain to me, right? Explain to me how you can give me your sales pitch, why I should give you my number or my Snapchat or my Instagram, right? You put guys in that position. And I know some of you think, well, that sounds really funny. That sounds really strange. Why would I do all that, right? Because you're setting yourself up for success in the future. Because you want guys to be of the mentality when they're approaching you, oh, let me put my best foot forward here. And even when I do put my best foot forward here, let me always try to go the extra mile or figure out what she needs, right? I know that sounds strange, but you're setting yourself up for the success of the relationship, because down the line, when you're upset or when you withdraw or when he does something you don't like, you want him in the habit of, okay, let me figure out what you need here. Or let me figure out how to solve our situation here. Or let me figure out how to make you happy again here. Are you following, right? So you want to be building that dynamic from the jump, where it's like, okay, let's see if you have the critical thinking skills to figure out what is the most necessary way to approach this right now, okay? Says I do that and I used to think it's wrong. No, it's perfectly right. And you'll get the type of response that you want from the type of guys that you're looking for, okay? Remember, we're not looking for shy soy boys who can't do anything hard, okay? We don't want those boys in our lives. Let's get rid of those men, all right? So portray the fantasy was number 1. Live up to expectations, number 2. Now, number 3 is to stay mysterious. Now, let's assume at this point he's got your contact information and things like that. Okay, one of the mistakes that you can make in 2024 with the social media that we have and all the access we have to the internet now, don't make the mistake of making yourself unmysterious by posting every single thing that you ever do in your entire life. Now, I'm not villainizing posting. I'm not villainizing posting, having fun on your social media. I want you to have fun on your social media. But I do want you to understand, especially when you just meet a man, you don't leave much left to the imagination if you're posting everything that you do every second of the day, all the time, 24/7. Okay, there's a balance there, right? Of course, nothing wrong with posting your life and showing that you have a life. That's good, but you also don't want to overdo it where you leave nothing up to mystery, even in the way you post. Okay, so this is like a pro tip. We're not going to talk about this. This is a 2024 pro tip with social media. Even in the way you post, you can post things that are abstract in nature. Every time you post, it doesn't have to be a video where you scan the entire room, show everyone that's with you, show who's beside you, who's in front of you, who's on top of you, who's below you, show your shoes, show your eyeballs, show your makeup. Like, you don't got to show everything. See, let's be quiet. We're not going to talk about this. You can stay mysterious and post abstract things, right? When you go out to dinner, you can post the plates, but you don't have to post that you're with your girlfriends. Who are you with now? When you go out somewhere, you can post just a simple little video. It's like Gen Z post. That's what the kids are doing now. When you post where it's like, oh, I'm showing you what's going on, but you don't really know everything that's going on. There could be more going on. Or there could be less, you never really know. Now, I know for some of you who are on the older side, you're like, this sounds really silly and really dumb. Why should I even care about this? Because sometimes you can make the mistake of being, okay, I'll say this to help you understand. Have you ever met a guy before where you met him in person, and then after you got to know him and you saw the way that he posted on social media, it became a little bit of an ick for you? Like, he was posting all of these weird sub quotes, and all the stuff he reposted or posted was just a little weird or just strange, and just all the stuff that he was saying on social media, it was very different from the way you received him when you talked to him in person. And then by the time you're seeing his like social media and his post, you're just kind of like, oh, this is icky. It just makes me feel weird. I don't like the way you post. I don't like the way you go about it. Your aesthetic, it's just all weird. It's all strange. You're always posting. It's just weird. I don't like it, right? So for those of you who are like, yeah, 100%. When I seen a guy and that gave me the ick the way he posted. So keep that in mind, okay? Your social media is a digital representation of you. So if you can get icked out by the way that guys post, keep that in mind. Now, obviously, this doesn't have to be something you go crazy about, but just keep that in mind for yourself as well. Keep some mystery involved, even in your digital life or your digital self, okay? Don't be over posting everything that you're going through. Don't be Please, I love you and I care about you, and I don't want you to look like a fool. Please, I love you. Please, and I know you go through things. Please do not post yourself crying. Please don't do it. I know you're sad sometimes. I know you go through things sometimes. Please don't post yourself crying about something that makes you sad, okay? I don't want to hurt your feelings if you've ever done that. I need you to understand, as guys, we get you're emotional beings. But you look goofy when you do that. You look goofy. You look like you're looking for attention when you do that. I love you and I care for you, and I'm trying to help you understand, because you have your own icks as well as women, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But also us as men, we have our own set of icks as well. And I love you. I love you. I'm trying to say this with love. Please don't post yourself crying. Okay. Right. Just telling you. Okay. It can become very icky. Not, of course, I'm talking about crying because you're sad about something. Tears of joy where you see something really amazing and you're crying, that's totally different. I'm talking about, like when you're going through something really sad and you just post you're crying tears and then you set up the camera. It looks very attention starved. And as guys, generally we don't like to make a girlfriend out of the girl who looks very attention starved. So it's very icky for us. I'm not saying this to be mean to you. I don't want to call you out. I'm not against you. I'm your friend. I'm trying to help you. I just want you to understand, because we're talking about stay mysterious. That is one of the things that takes the mystery out of you. I'm not saying you're not allowed to have emotions. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be sad. I'm not saying you shouldn't feel things. I want you to feel things, go through things. And I want you to talk to people who actually care about you. Social media doesn't care about you. You can make yourself look really goofy by doing that. Okay. Don't ick guys out. Don't just talk to the people that love you. Okay. And cry to them. Okay. Or if you really want to take the video and send it to those people that you actually would care about your well-being and ask you what's going on. If that's what you need, please don't post it. Please don't post it. Please don't post it. Okay. I'm just going to leave it there. Stay mysterious. Leave some things up to the imagination. Okay, right? Let guys, especially when a guy just meets you, let him wonder about you a little bit. Don't be so quick to, give away all the secrets of your life that you no longer become mysterious, okay? And one of the ways that we can lose out on our mystery is by over posting on social media, okay? Nothing wrong with posting a little bit and getting some of your stuff off. There's nothing wrong with that. But you just don't want to be like a spammer. You know, some of the social media spammer friends that you have, they just post absolutely everything going on in their life, whether it's good or bad, and you're just like, wow, this is overwhelming. In fact, I want to unfollow you. I don't need all of this information about you. Okay, so you stay mysterious a little bit, okay? Because remember, when you're not around and he's not talking to you, because you're damn sure not going to be messaging him. I shouldn't even have to say that. Okay, you should know part of staying mysterious is putting the phone down in general, and you're not going to be messaging him a whole bunch. Okay, you're not going to be Snapchatting him. Okay. You're not going to be Snapchatting him. You're definitely not going to be doing that, okay? Because we don't want him seeing everything you're doing at all times of the day, where he never gets a chance to wonder what you're doing. That's part of the reason also Snapchat can be so bad, because every second, think about it. If you're Snapchatting a guy every hour of the day, he knows exactly where you are, what it looks like, and what you're doing. So you kind of lose the mystery of him ever wondering, what is it you're doing? Where are you spending your time? Are you with another guy? Is there someone else? Are you like who are you with? Where are you hanging out? Are you having fun? Do you want to be with, these are the natural things and progression of thoughts that guys should go through when they meet you, they like you, and they want to see you more, right? Someone said, keep him on his toes. Yes, precisely. You want to keep guys on their toes. You want to keep them guessing a little bit. You want to keep them wondering of you a little bit, because you guys hear a lot of people talk about vasopressin. That's one of the things that creates vasopressin, right? It's a little bit of stress, even though you're not doing anything. Being mysterious creates a little bit of stress, because they start thinking, oh, well, what are you thinking? What do you want? What are you doing? Where are you spending your time? And they start spiraling themselves. Guys also spiral if you give them the space to spiral a little bit. It's good. A little bit of everything is good sometimes, okay? So you want to stay mysterious. Don't be on that phone, and don't be over posting on social media. You don't gotta post every aspect of your life, and you damn sure don't post yourself crying. Stay off the Snapchat. Stay off the cell phone. You don't need to be texting 24/7 every 5 minutes, okay? Give it a break. Whatever you need to do to distract yourself, and go do that instead. Don't be on the phone 24/7, readily available for him. It's like you just have nothing else to do, and it's very unattractive. We don't want that for you. That should be straightforward for you guys, okay? Right? Nail says, when you say Snapchat, what are you referring to? I'm referring to Snapchat, the app. I'm referring to being on Snapchat because the preface of Snapchat is that you're going to send a quick picture with a caption of whatever it is you're doing anytime you Snapchat them. So by the time now nothing wrong with sending a picture or a video one time in a day of what you did at one point in the day, but Snapchat is an ongoing picture or video of what you're doing at any point in the day. So by the time you Snapchat someone all throughout the day, they essentially know everywhere you've been and everything you've been doing at every point in the day. So where do they have any room to wonder about what you've been doing? They've literally been seeing it firsthand at like every hour of the day. So you're starting to leave less and less up to mystery, thinking that, oh, we're talking every day, every second, but that's actually not what you want when you want a guy to never forget you, because you want there to be mystery that he has room to still think about you. There is no mystery if you're always around 24/7 all the time, 365. Are you following what I'm saying? You can't say, I never want a man to forget me, because ironically, the easiest you are to forget is when you're present constantly, okay? And I know that that sounds really weird and strange. How can I be the easiest to forget when I'm present constantly? Because that's when guys think of you the least, when they know they are never going to have to miss you. They know exactly what you're doing. They know exactly where you are. They know exactly who you're spending your time with. They know everything that you're doing, where you're going to be, how you're going to be, whatever, right? There is nothing left to question. And so they don't question. And so they get into the habit of just not thinking about you because they don't have to. They get all the information they need whenever they need it. Okay? It's the same reason why I tell you guys not to be available to men at their beck and call. So when they call you at 2:30 a.m., don't just be available to come to his house right then, because then at a certain point, he's never going to think of you unless he wants to call you at 2:30 a.m. You're thinking, oh, he's thinking of me all the time because I come over late night. No, what's going to happen is he'll never think of you until it's right when the blood's flowing to his pee-pee, and then he's going to ask you to come over. Aside from that, he won't think of you. Okay? Does that make sense? Unfortunately, with guys, when you're absent, that's when they actually start to appreciate you and desire you. Unfortunately, when you're there all the time, 24/7, it doesn't work out the same way. Okay, which is why I always tell you guys, you want to build yourself up to the everyday. Okay, so number one was to portray the fantasy. Number two, live up to expectations. Number three, stay mysterious. And number four, so this is kind of going back to when you're first meeting him. Number four, you're going to flirt with your body. Okay, I know we're kind of going backwards here because the stay mysterious was social media and afterwards. Number four, I want you to flirt with your body. So this is a very important point that I want you to remember for the rest of your life and never forget. So we can call this stop pooping time, okay? You stop pooping now, you snip it off. If you're in the bed with your hand in your pants, take your hand out of your pants. I want your ears listening now. So the reason I want you flirting with your body, please, okay, forget everything everyone else has told you about compliment men. Men like compliments. Compliment his t-shirt. Compliment his mustache. Compliment his tongue because it's not white. Leave that at home, okay? What you're going to bring out with you here is how you flirt with your body language, your eyes, and your mouth. Like I'm talking about like your smile, okay? Not that type of mouth. And this is all the flirting you need to do. This is all the flirting you need to do. Because this is how you actually give men a feeling. And people don't remember what you say. Like I always tell you guys, you students should know this. People don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel. So what you're trying to do when you're meeting guys, you're trying to implant within them a feeling. Okay? Right? So you never need to compliment men by telling them they have a nice t-shirt, okay? What you can do instead of that is when you're having the conversation with them, because remember, he's supposed to be pursuing you and coming up to you and approaching you after you do the smile and the look. So he comes up to you and he's talking to you and having a conversation with you. Now I want you to flirt with your body. When he's telling a joke, if it's actually a funny joke, you laugh, but then you also touch his arm, okay? There's a lot of subtle, non-intimate type of touching that you do to communicate with someone. I like you. I think you're interesting, okay? So that's a perfect example of that. When he tells a joke or he says something funny, oh, ha, 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 and you touch, this is a good part to touch right here. It's a very natural part. When he's laughing, you touch between the upper arm and like the elbow here and the forearm. This is the area right here. I'll show you right here. Between here and here. You touch this, you grab onto this when he tells you a joke, right? Like, oh, that was so funny, ha, 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 and you laugh that and you grab onto that. These are all, when you get good at this, I know some of you are like, how do I do that, Tomisin? Is it 3/4 inch up or 3/4 inch down? I promise you, when you get good at flirting with your body, you just need to start practicing so you can start getting the feel of it, okay? I am a pro flirter, pro eye contact person, but it wasn't just born with it, okay? You got to learn it after a while, and you got to practice it so that when you're in the moment, you know how to convey to someone, I like you, I think you're interesting, okay? Then when you're with other natural flirters, this will be like a piece of cake, okay? And you'll be able to communicate with people without saying anything, right? It's good. You got to practice it. Practice flirting with your body. Practice flirting with your eyes, okay? Obviously, we have the look and we have the smile and things like that, right? The look is supposed to last some time, okay? Couple of seconds, but it's not supposed to be a staring contest, okay? But you also want it to be long enough that you guys both know you're looking at each other, okay? There's an art to that. Now, there's only a certain point that I can explain it before you have to just go out and try it, right? The touching of the arm and the forearm when you laugh, there's an art to that as well, okay? Also, when someone's talking, you look engaged, not looking around, because a lot of times if you're talking to someone in the club or talking to someone in a bar or wherever you are, there can be a lot of stimulus behind them. So when you're looking around, right, you might be paying attention to them, you might even like them, but you're not realizing you're not looking engaged to them. And when you're not looking engaged to them, they don't think that the conversation is going very well, or they're not going to be as engaged with you either, okay? You don't want that as well. You want, when you have a conversation with the guy, you want him to feel like, oh my God, there's 1,000 people around us, but it's only me and you in this room. That's why eye contact can be so powerful, because you can really make someone feel like it's only you and them when there's really intense eye contact. And it's funny, if there's really intense eye contact, we don't even have to be talking about anything. We could be talking about the weather. And with the eye contact that we're giving each other, I know that you like me and you know that I like me. Actually, if you probably didn't realize it, but the best actors that you watch on TV, when you watch Leo DiCaprio and when you watch Halle Berry and when you watch whoever your favorite actor is on TV, part of the reason they're such good actors is because they understand how to deliver lines that don't seem like they're about anything, but deliver a message with their body language and their eyes, okay? And it's the same thing with you, because you're actually picking up on that when you're watching them. Are you following me? When you're watching those really good actors act away and you're like, oh my God, I know what's happening, but they're just not saying it, right? You're picking up on the subtle body language and the subtle message underneath the words. You're actually, when you're really into a really good show or a really good movie, you're actually not listening to any words, because you know that the words are deceptive, and real human beings don't communicate with words. Real human beings communicate with their body language, their eyes, and they use that in context with whatever the situation is to deliver an actual message. So when you're watching the best actors, you're actually reading their body, not listening to their words. The words is just a function of, wherever the plot or the story is supposed to go, but the real story is in the way that the actor's body language is. So I just say that to say, when you get good at this, you begin to understand as well how to flirt with your body, not with your words, because your words aren't really going to deliver a message. Like I said, your body and your eyes is what's going to deliver that message. So you got to get good at the eye contact, especially when people are talking. If you actually like the guy, your eye contact should be immaculate and intense, okay? Because you can really draw men in when you're having a conversation with them and they feel like you're looking right into their soul, and you don't even have to say or do anything. It's a very intense feeling, especially when he already likes you and is already interested in you, because guys aren't used to getting that much direct eye contact anywhere else in life. Okay, I hope you understand that. One of the most powerful things is eye contact, because most people aren't getting that anywhere else in life, whether it be at work, whether it be with family, whether it be with friends. Most people, when they're having a conversation, they're looking somewhere else. They're looking up, they're looking down, they're looking sideways. It's rare that when you're talking to someone, you're looking directly into their eyes, having this conversation. If you've ever done it before or you've ever experienced it, it can be very, very engaging, and that's very good. Okay? Do you understand why that's so important? Okay. Kita says Nightcrawler is a great example of people being deceitful with words 100. So yeah, it's actually great. So for those of you who are like, but Thompson, I don't understand body language. I don't understand how to flirt with my body and things like that. So what you can do now is you want to start, if you want to start practicing or seeing it firsthand, start watching some really good movies, not bad movies. Okay. You got to watch some good movies that are highly rated. So go on IMDb and type in top 20 movies, top 10 rated movies or whatever, romantic movies or whatever, and just watch some really good movies. And you're going to start seeing the actors that are really good at their job. They do a lot of communicating non-verbally, okay, with their eyes and the way their body language is. And you're going to start seeing, oh, what I'm reading here is I'm not listening to the words. I'm actually understanding your body language to know how you feel. When you see two actors flirt, right, in a movie, you're actually sensing the tension, not from the word, because they're not going to be, never in a good movie do two actors that are romantically involved ever come out and say, I like you, you like me, let's go sleep together. That would be like a parody, okay? The really good actors in the love movies that you watch, or when there's a love interest, they're never actually saying directly, I like you and you like me. But you can tell that there's a tension between them through their body language. Are you following what I'm saying? So you have to start getting good at that in order to make a man never forget you, because that's the real compliment. All that other stuff about tell him he has a nice t-shirt and stuff, that's not seductive, okay? That's not tension, okay? It's not gonna make him feel any tension to tell him that he has a nice t-shirt. It's not gonna make him feel any tension to tell him that he's got a nice earring or something. I don't know. That's not gonna work. I know some people on TikTok, they trying their best to give you advice. It's not gonna work, okay? What's actually going to work is getting good at being seductive with your body language and the way that you flirt with your body language and your eyes, so that guys can feel the tension. Because when they feel the tension, that's what they actually remember, not you saying you got a nice t-shirt. All right. Just remember that. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? Rogue said, LOL, I also give the seductive walk away after the eye contact. That's even better. See, now you're starting to get it. When this is the thing too, when you're in the pocket, when you're in the zone, there's a zone you can get in where you're just like, oh, I'm killing it. I know I got him by the balls. Like when you're really flirting heavy with someone, doesn't matter what you're talking about, doesn't matter what the conversation is, you'll just know that you're feeling the tension between the two of you. Even if you're not talking about anything pineapple related, even if you're not talking about sleeping together or anything like that, you're going to know, oh, I'm knocking it out the park. I know you want me. I know I want you. And I know we got some tension going on. Okay. We could start making out any second. Okay. And you just keep it there. That's when you know you're in the pocket. Okay. But you're obviously going to have to work your way up to this. If when I'm saying this, some of you are like, oh, Thompson, I don't even know how to have eye contact. I'm literally so nervous. I don't even know how to look at people. We got to start you off from ground zero. Okay. I might have to teach a separate class, but that's going to be something we're going to have to like go out. You know what I mean? And we're going to have to get you comfortable just giving some eye contact first. Okay. If you're like a totally beginner. So you got to start small, because for those of you who you're hearing me say this and you're like, whoa, Thompson, I don't even know if I can hold a gaze for 1 second. We got to work on that, because you're not going to be able to attract very many men into your life if you can't hold eye contact. That's going to be very difficult. You're only going to be able to attract gamer boys who stare at a screen. And what are they going to do for you? Nothing. Okay. They ain't going to do nothing for you. You want a big dog that'll lay you down, protect you, take care of you. You're going to have to learn the eye contact, learn how to flirt with your body language and things like that. Okay. So, number 1 was to portray the fantasy. Number 2, live up to the expectations. Number 3, stay mysterious. Number 4, flirt with your body. And number 5, you want to be vague in answering your questions, okay? Well, now, obviously, when a guy comes up to you, he's going to be asking you basic questions about your name, where you're from, your friends. Those are things you can answer like normally, okay? I'm talking about when you guys go past that, basic, shallow, I just want to say shallow, but that beginner conversation, when you start getting into deeper topics, right? Like when you're on a date, Brittany says, right? For example, this is where I want you to be a little bit strategically vague, right? And you're not being vague because you don't want to tell him about stuff or anything like that, but you want to be vague to start strategically. 2 things I want you to do when you're being vague. I want you to get him into the habit of kind of like chasing after answers. I know it sounds toxic, but I'm trying to get you somewhere. I want you to get your man and the guy that you're talking to into the habit of chasing after answers to get them from you. So what I mean by that is, for example, let's say he asks you, oh, so where did you go last week? Oh, I just, went out. Who did you go out with? I was out with a couple of friends. Oh, which friends, right? And as he's asking that, he's going to start thinking, oh, she's not telling me because she was probably with a guy. Oh, like my usual, friends that I go out with. Which ones? Oh, I think Tracy was there, Gracie was there, and some other people. Who were the other people? I think Michelle. And were there any guys there? No, there were no guys there. So you gave him the answer, but I know that this sounds toxic. You let him chase after the answer, okay? Right? You see, one of the things, because today's topic is how to make a man never forget you. One of the things that you have to understand is a mistake, and I know that some of you do it just unknowing, is because you are so eager to make a guy happy and never give him, like Kitty said, never give him any reason to stress out. Anytime he asks something of you or asks you a question, you want to over explain yourself and you want to tell him every single detail and you want to share absolutely everything you can possibly share and you want to trauma dump and tell him this and tell him that, all these things that he never asked for, right? But see, when you over explain, sometimes you can get in the business of just becoming a yapper. Okay, I'm a yapper, okay, but you guys like listening to me. But you can become a yapper where rather than guys reaching for more information, they start tuning you out. Are you following what I'm saying? Okay, I don't want to hurt your feelings because I know when you yap sometimes and you talk, you're just, you're just being you. But I do want you to understand, especially when you're building that tension in the very beginning of the relationship on these first couple of dates, you don't want to get into the business of oh, he asked you a question and then now you're over explaining, or you're trying to say, oh, like in that example where I gave you where he's asking about what you did last week and who you did it with. You're like, oh yeah, so I was with Michelle, I was with Stacy, I was with Jennifer. Let me show you a picture. There were no other guys there. I'm going to show you a 360 of everything that we were doing that entire time so that you don't ever think that I was ever going to be dating someone else or I was ever going to be out with someone else. Oh yeah, I went to dinner with them. By the way, I had the pasta, she had the rigatoni, she had the French toast, and now let me take a picture of all of them and I'll show you all of their dresses. It's great. It's great that, yes, he knows that you were with, yeah, that's great. But see, here's the thing. You want to allow your man's desire to know more about what's going on with your life to get him to that answer. Okay. Not that you have to lie, not that you have to purposely be super, omitting things or anything like that. You don't need you to be a bad person or a bad partner. But when he reaches for that answer, that's how he gets it. Okay. I know that this sounds toxic, but what I'm trying to do for you is I'm trying to build you this dynamic in which your guy is constantly leaning forward to get more of you. Okay, so this is kind of a psychological thing. You're still going to be honest. You're still going to be truthful. You just let him lean forward to get answers, right? You let him lean forward to get things from you. And it's it's a physical or verbal representation of what your relationship should be like, right? Him leaning forward to get more of you, not him leaning back while you dump on him and it's now he just wants to take a break from you. Okay. You will never be memorable to a guy if as soon as he leaves your sight, he starts thinking, damn, I need a break from that girl. Okay. Now, obviously, I want you to take what I'm saying with a grain of salt because this isn't something that's meant to last forever. Remember, we're talking about how to make a man never forget you. So we're obviously talking about these beginning stages and how you build up that interest, that desire, that tension that he really wants to continue dating you, wants to continue seeing you and learning more about you. Okay. That's what we want to do for you. And so I'm trying to help you set the building blocks up for that. Now, of course, once that man becomes your boyfriend, once you guys begin dating, once everything is established and you guys have, know each other way better now, of course you can trauma dump on him. Of course you can be honest with him. Of course you can be more forthcoming and you don't have to continue being vague. What I'm discussing here is that beginning part where you want him really leaning in, okay? You want him leaning in. That way it keeps his interest high and it keeps him on his toes pursuing, not leaning back, sitting back saying, yeah, I'm getting everything that I need. Because I promise you, because some of you guys be wondering, well, I see some of these people and I wonder why some of these girls never get the guy to actually, you know, propose or never get him to ask her out and things like that. It's because that guy isn't leaning forward. He's actually leaning back, okay? He's taking a step back, right? Because he's relaxing, because he knows he doesn't have to worry about anything and he doesn't have to like lean forward to get more of this girl. He already has her in the biggest capacity he can, okay? And you want guys leaning forward because that's when you're going to get the best treatment out of them, okay? You don't want them, like Kitty just said, you don't want to let them become complacent. I know that sounds a little bit vague, because like a little bit toxic, because you're like, Thompson, I shouldn't be vague and not tell him the truth. You should tell him the truth, but you want him to work for the truth, okay? We aren't talking about anyone with that, okay? It's just me and you, our secret, all right? Do all of those 5 make sense to you guys, okay? So you portray the fantasy, you live up to expectations, you stay mysterious, you flirt with your body, and then you be vague, okay? Do you guys have any questions about those 5 that we just discussed here today, okay? Flower says, the only way to get a masculine real man is to be a feminine real woman. I agree, okay? We want to help you attract a big dog, not a soy boy, not a shy boy. I know some of you might like shy boys, but unfortunately, shy boys ain't gonna be able to do much for you in a relationship, okay? And we don't want you spending all your time and energy on the shy boys that can't do much for you in a relationship. SM donates $10 in the YouTube chat. SM asks, I've been on 4 dates with a guy over the past 2 months, and at the end of the last date, he tried for pineapples. We have our 5th date this weekend. How do I tell him I'm not ready for pineapples? So in that scenario, SM, you don't say anything, okay? There's no need to. You just don't put yourself in a position where that should be happening. Now, of course, there is a certain limit here. If you notice that it's continuing to happen, like he's continuing to push for it, then you're probably going to have to be vocal here, okay? But if you're noticing that, of course, like there's only certain places that can happen, don't put yourself in that position, especially if you're not ready for that. But if it continues, if he's really pushing here, then you're probably going to have to say something. Now, let's be very clear though. SM, if you say something, be ready to stand on it. Do not say something if you know that you can be persuaded, right? Easily. I'm not saying that you would be. All I'm saying is don't make the mistake of when you say something, be very clear on what you're saying and don't fold. Because if you say it and then you fold, it's going to look very bad. So before you say something, ask yourself, are you prepared to actually stand on this for a while? Okay. Don't say it and then fold the next day. Okay. Don't say it and take off any of your clothes. Like I say, wear your tightest pair of jeans, strap up your belt so tight you can barely breathe. That way you can't take anything off. Okay, I really mean that. Saying something and then doing the opposite is the worst thing you can do in that situation. Okay, so if you're going to do it, if you're going to say it, stand by it. Okay, does that make sense? Mary says, can we wave if he doesn't come up after the look and smile? No, no, no. Is this a postcard? No. Okay. No waving, okay? You don't know that man. No need to wave. Why are you waving? No, don't need to wave. You keep your hands at your sides, okay? Talk to your friends. You wave at your friends. You don't know this man. You look, you smile. He should be able to get the hint. This is the thing as well. Remember, what we're doing here is we're setting you up for success, meaning we're setting you up to attract the guy who knows, who has the emotional intelligence to say, that girl is looking and smiling at me. Clearly, she is interested in me as well. I think she's attractive. I'm going to go up to her and have a conversation with her. You want men in your life that can make those inferences that simply, because that is what's going to be the easiest for you to stay in your feminine while being in a relationship with him. When you're thinking, okay, well, I tried the smile and I tried the look, but he still doesn't get the hint. Maybe I should wave. Then when the wave doesn't work, maybe I should wave both of my hands. Then when waving both of your hands doesn't work, you'll be like, maybe I should buy him a drink. Then when buying him a drink doesn't work, you're like, maybe I should just tell him I'm in love with him. Then you say, maybe I should just open my legs and let him sleep with me in the bathroom of the bar. That's when he'll know that I actually like. Don't. Okay, don't do any of that. If the look and the smile doesn't work, move forward. Because we don't need you chasing after each and every guy to try to get him to come up to you, okay? No waving, no foot waving, no hand waving, no head shaking, none of that. Don't put your tongue out, nothing, okay? Don't flare your nostrils, nothing. You look and you smile, that's all you need to do, okay? And obviously, the look and the smile is not just a one-time thing. You can do this multiple times. Now, you don't have to look and smile every time, but you can look multiple times and you can smile once or twice, okay? It doesn't have to be every time. Every time would be kind of weird, but you can look multiple times throughout the party. When you're at a party or you're at an event or you're at a bar or a club, if you're seeing someone there, obviously people aren't just going to be there for like 30 seconds. So when you see them the first time, they're going to be in their area with their group of friends, and you're probably going to, as you're moving throughout the crowd and things like that, you're going to see them multiple times throughout the party or throughout the event or whatever it may be. So you have multiple opportunities to glance a look at them. Okay. As you're doing this multiple times, it'll become more obvious that, hey, it's not just the position I was in. She wasn't looking past me. She's looking at me, right? And I'm looking at her. We have a thing going. Trust me. I promise you, I know some of you are thinking this is so much harder than it actually is, but I promise you, when you become good at this, it becomes so easy. Okay. I used to think that this would probably be something that's hard. Now, when I stopped drinking, it became easier for me, ironically. But when I stopped drinking, I was able to be more observant and I was able to practice this. And now I'm very good at this. So when I go out, I know immediately who's looking at me, who's interested in me, and I know immediately what the vibe is on any girl that I'm attracted to, right? And they're usually able to communicate that back to me if they're attracted to me as well. It's not that hard. It's possible for you to do it. I promise you. Okay. Someone says, how do you to ask for a guy's intentions on the low key? You get to know a guy's intentions by understanding how he lives his life. So that might not sound very obvious to you, but I've talked about that in previous shows. You get to know how a guy is going to go about your relationship by understanding how he goes about his life. So what I mean by that is, if the guy that you're dating, you're wondering, hey, are you going to be able to be intentional with me and actually build this relationship up and actually take it somewhere? Ask him about what his plans are for his future, his career, what he's passionate about, and where he sees himself in 5 years and 10 years. If he has no plan for his own future, he's like, oh yeah, I just kind of work odd jobs. I don't really know what I want to do. I'm still discovering life. I promise you, it'll be the same thing he does with your relationship with him. He'll say, yeah, I don't really know what I want to do. I'm kind of just discovering life. And he'll have the exact same answer. When you ask him, what do you want out of a relationship? It'll be the exact same answer, but that'll be the truthful answer. Because what a lot of guys will do is, when you ask them what their intentions are, they'll say, oh, I'm always looking. They're all looking for something serious, right? They're all looking for something serious. So guys have that cookie cutter answer when you ask him a direct question. The one that they're not thinking about, giving a cookie cutter answer to is, what are they looking for within their own life? That's the way you find out the truth. The guys who have direction in their life, they find it easy to transition having direction in their own life to having direction in their relationships. The guys who have no direction in their own life find it very difficult, the same way, to have direction in their relationship. How can they? They don't even know how to have direction for themselves. How can they have direction for you and them? Doesn't make sense, right? Brittany says they all say they're intentionally dating now. Of course. And think about this. If you're meeting guys on dating apps, they're all going to be like, well, it wouldn't make sense if I went out with a girl from a dating app and then I told her I wasn't looking for anything serious, because then she'll be like, well, why are you on the dating app? So guys think about that beforehand. So they're all going to tell you, I'm looking for something serious. I'm looking for something serious. I'm looking for something serious. So you're never going to get the truth. So that's why I say ask him about his own life so that you can get the truth, because that's the real answer. Okay. Someone says, how do I gently let it be known I'm not interested without coming across too serious? What? If you're not interested, why are you worried about how he feels about you not being interested? You just tell him that you're not interested and you stop talking to him after that. You don't have to be worried about how he feels about you not being interested. You're not interested. So why do you care? It doesn't matter. Don't give energy into the wrong places, right? Nicole says he doesn't want to get married, yet he wants to achieve goals right now. Okay, so then you don't waste any of your energy on him. Don't waste energy on people who are telling you they're not ready for this and they're not ready for that. Because if you're ready and you know you need someone who's ready, sitting around waiting for him to be ready will be a very long game. You'll get very old, very gray, and very wrinkly waiting for a man to be ready. Because trust me, the guys that want to give excuses, they can give excuses forever. And so don't be banking on the fact that a guy says, oh, I'm not ready right now, because I promise you, majority of those guys, they still won't be ready in the future. Majority of them, at least. Okay. Does that make sense? So with that being said, I don't want to spend too much time on questions here. With that being said, let's hop into our next segment here, where we're going to be reacting to some TikTok videos around town. All right. Oh, by the way, for those of you who are wondering, oh, can you please repeat them? Don't worry, all of you beautiful people. The entire show is available on my YouTube. Just type in my YouTube. It's above my head on the top right corner of the screen. It's Tomisin Atobatele. For those of you on TikTok, you can even just type in my first name, Tomisin, Tomisin. Type it in on YouTube. You'll be able to see this live stream. It's live at the same time as here. I'm live on both platforms. Go to that live stream and then you can rewind it and rewatch it. Okay. So don't think that because I don't repeat them that you're never going to get them. Okay. That's okay. Any of you that were late here, go to the YouTube live stream and then you can just rewind it. Even while I'm still live, you can still rewind it. Now let's go into our Reacts segment. Spam your headphone emojis, spam your camera emojis, spam your baby oil emoji. Jokes, not the baby oil emojis, but spam your headphone and camera emojis. We're heading over into our Reacts segment of the day. I should come up with a song for that. All right, guys, let's hop right into it. Let me refresh the page. Make sure we got some good ones today to do. Okay. So we did, I think this was the last one we did here, so we'll start with this one.
How to increase vasopressin.
No. We did you yesterday.
I truly believe when you're with the wrong person, you're too busy trying to make them fit for you, trying to change them, trying to change their personality, change their character, change their charisma, change so much about them for them to fit you that you have no time to work on yourself, right? Versus when you're with the right person, they're not necessarily perfect, but they position you in a way where you're not worried on fixing them. You're worried about improving yourself so you can be better for them. I don't know who needs that today, but I truly have been in both places, and I can tell you, you don't want to be in the position where you're trying to force a person to be right for you just because you like them, just because you love them. You're trying to force that person to be right for you versus being with the right person and positioning yourself in a way where you're trying to improve to be better for them. I truly believe when you're with the wrong.
So what he's describing here is if you've ever heard or said yourself, someone say, I love the person I am when I'm with you. That's kind of a function of that, right? So when someone is inspiring you to be better and inspiring you to like grow and inspiring you to, improve every single day, you start to fall in love with yourself more because since that person is inspiring you to be better, you end up doing better for you and for your relationship, of course. But then because you're doing better for you and the relationship and you're improving as a human being, when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're actually in a better place in your life. because of that relationship, as opposed to it being vice versa, where the relationship is draining you of your energy, or you're spending a lot of energy trying to, like he mentioned, fix the other person, which is still going to be draining you of your energy. Then when you look in the mirror, you kind of despise yourself and hate yourself for allowing all of that energy to go into someone else. And now you've let go of you, or you have, forgotten about you. And so when you look in the mirror, you're a bit embarrassed of who you are because of how you haven't taken care of you. Okay. And it's it's the opposite when you're in a relationship where you don't have to force the compatibility or drain your energy by investing it all into fixing them. Then it allows you to actually build yourself up to be on their level, and you're more proud of yourself and happier overall in the relationship. Oh, obviously that's ideal. And obviously nobody's perfect. So it's never going to be a picture perfect kind of thing, but the idea and the concept still exists. So those are part of the things you want to be looking out for in your relationships. If you feel like one of the key factors, I think at least, that you should be looking for, especially with your guy in your relationship, is the aspect that growth is encouraged and improvement is encouraged. If it's not encouraged and it's not one of the foundational elements of your relationship, then you're going to find it very difficult to make changes, make adjustments, and have things get better in your relationship, at least in my opinion, because that has to be present in order for there to be the accountability required to be in a relationship, and the consistency and sustainability required to be in a relationship, because part of making your relationship sustainable is improving on the things that aren't working, getting rid of them, and then compromising in ways that work for both of you. So that requires a lot of desire to improve there.
Here are 3 examples of what going slow looks like in dating. Remember, it's normal for somebody to want to go slow and not rush and expedite the stages of a relationship. But going slow isn't an excuse for bad behavior. So that doesn't mean you guys just never have to hang out or never text or never see each other. That's just not being intentional with the way that you date. So number 1, going slow could mean this person doesn't want to text you every single fucking day. You are not part of somebody's every day-to-day life. So why would they want to make you part of that by texting you every day when they barely really even know you? So it's normal if you had a great date to not hear from somebody for a day or 2 and then have them ask you out on another date and then another day or 2 from there until you have the date. It's okay. Do not create a false sense of intimacy with texting. The more you engage in a digital relationship, the more you create a version of who you want this person to be, and you project it all over them, and then you start to hyper-focus and get really nervous and and then the anxiety starts to kick in. It's not helping anybody. Instead, get to know this person in person and stop creating who you want them to be via phone. 2, you guys are not expediting the stages of the relationship.
You guys know I be saying that too. Get off the phone, get off the Snapchat. Don't be like, I know that it's fun. It's fun. I know. I'm a kid at heart. I know it's fun to Snapchat, text all day, talk all day. It's like you're together all day. But especially when you're at the beginning, that's not helping you know that person at all, really. In fact, it's giving you a false sense of hope and a false sense of safety with someone that's still a stranger.
The relationship quicker than they need to be. So that means that this person isn't asking you to be exclusive or your girlfriend after 2 dates. This person isn't calling you morning, noon, and night. This person's not introducing you to their friends after 1 date. You guys are actually genuinely getting to know each other authentically and not trying to put the cart before the horse, and just spending time together in different environments to actually see if you like each other for who you are. And the 3rd, you guys are still maintaining a sense of independence while you're still getting to know each other. No, this person doesn't need to cancel all of their plans that weekend just to see you. And no, just because this person was traveling for 3 weeks and has a 1 night off when they get back doesn't mean that you're the only person that they need to see. You don't know these people that well, so fucking chill. Get to know them authentically, see how it evolves over time, make sure that they are showing up consistently and that you are not seeing them start at 100 and go down, but over time you're seeing it progress, that they let you into their life a little bit more. Here are 3.
Part of the reason why I just finished telling you guys one of the things you should be thinking about in your relationships is improvement, and then on the other sense, progression. Because progression is what you want to see even more than someone being absolutely perfect starting from 100, like Sabrina said at the very beginning. Starting from 100 is always bad. always bad, and it's always just a sign of bad things to come, because the reality of it is nobody's perfect, no relationship's perfect, and starting from 100 is only a lie because you guys are both strangers. Progressing is the natural development of how relationships are supposed to go. So as I see you more, get to know you more, spend more time with you, we build more trust. I understand you better, you understand me better, we get along better, and we work through our issues and resolve our problems, and we compromise on things, and our relationship grows and progresses over time. That's the natural way things are supposed to go. And so that's how you want it to be and want it to look like when you're dating someone. Some people might call that going slow. I just call that going natural. Okay. Because it's not natural for you and a guy to meet. And as soon as you guys meet, you guys are humping each other and then saying, I love you on the first day. That's not a natural progression of things, because where are they supposed to go from there? That's not real. How can you love someone you don't even know their last name? You guys are humping each other saying, I love you. It doesn't make sense. So you do want things to progress over the course of time, okay? That includes texting, that includes the frequency which you guys talk. And I gave you guys a very easy to follow strategy to go slow in dating. Obviously, we talk about the texting. You do one date per week for 2 hours maximum of in-person time in the first month. Second month, you do 2 dates per week maximum of in-person time, right? 2 dates per week for the second month of you guys dating. Third week, you go 3 dates per week, maximum of 2 hours each date of in-person time. And then after 3 months is up, you just take the 6 hours that you would spend on a date for those 3 days a week, and you allocate them however you want. So if you want to do, one 4-hour date and then 1 2-hour date, you can do that. If you want to do however you want to split it up, you can do it however you want. You just get the 6 hours maximum for the week. That's how you do that, okay? And then you just keep that going until you become his girlfriend.
Oh my God, why are you driving so fast? Can you drive properly? Can you, I'm literally never ever driving with you again because I feel like my neck is jarring. Where are we going? Why are you always rushing? Why can't you just be a normal person? Because you're going to crash the car. Oh my God, you're going to crash the car. Can you be careful? Honestly, you're so annoying. Baby, are we rushing somewhere? Oh, we're not? Oh, okay. Because I just want to drive with you. I love driving with you and I like spending time with you. So let's not rush. Put some music on. Why don't we put some music on and just chill? We can roll the windows down and stuff. You're such a good driver. Thank you. Thank you for taking us there. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Oh my God, why?
So what she's exhibiting here, it's actually a pretty good example. What she's exhibiting here is essentially how to get what you want by delivering the message a particular way that is more like encouragement than it is you're doing everything wrong type of thing. So what she's tapping into is how to essentially speak to men in the way that they actually understand and absorb information. That way they actually end up doing what you want them to do without wanting to naturally push back against you. So in the first example, and I'll replay it again for some of you guys who didn't get what was going on here. In the first example, as the wife, okay, she just essentially complains. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. What's going to happen is when you're speaking to a man, that's going to trigger him to immediately want to become defensive, right? It's me versus you. You think I'm doing something wrong. I don't think I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing fine. And so his response is naturally going to be, well, let me take a stance of defense against you and what you're accusing me of. Driving horribly, I'm trying to crash the car and this and that, right? The second version of that, right, is her essentially encouraging him to give off the behavior that she's looking for. But instead of, I guess we could call it emasculating him by doing that or telling him, oh, you're wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, she's encouraging the behavior that she wants to see. So I want you to kind of get it under, because there's a psychology here, and this actually works. And I want you to kind of see this in action.
Why are you driving so fast? Can you drive properly? Can you, I'm literally never ever driving with you again because I feel like my neck is jarring. Where are we going? Why are you always rushing? Like, why can't you just be a normal person? Because you're going to crash the car. Oh my God, you're going to crash the car. Can you be careful? Honestly, you're so annoying. Baby, are we rushing somewhere? Oh, we're not? Oh, okay. Because I just want to drive with you. Like, I love driving with you and I like spending time with you. So let's not rush. Put some music on. Why don't we put some music on and just chill? We can roll the windows down and stuff. You're such a good driver. Thank you. Thank you for taking us there. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Oh my God, why are you driving so fast? Can you drive properly? Can you, like, I'm literally never ever driving.
I'm so glad I found it. So what we're going to do, because I love this video so much, it actually made me think of another video that I watched not too long ago. And I was like, oh, I wish I could find it. I wish I could find it. So this is spur of the moment thing. We're going to watch this other video that perfectly exemplifies in action exactly how this can be so powerful. And the reason I want to show you guys this video is because I want you guys to start getting good at understanding how to speak to men to get what you want from them, okay? Because there's a art to this. When you get really good at this, you'll actually be able to get whatever you want from men and they'll be happy to give it to you. But you have to know how to talk to them in a way that they actually respond to you properly. So I'm going to show you guys this really interesting video. I'm actually kind of excited to show you guys because I didn't think I'd be able to find it, but TikTok's actually pretty powerful. It knows what I was trying to search. So in this video here, this is exactly a real world example of what Margarita just showed you in our last video. So in this video here, this woman is with her boyfriend. You're going to see her boyfriend in the back of the kayak here, okay? And what's going to happen is in this video, she essentially wants him to start, moving the kayak forward. Like she wants him to start rowing this kayak, right? Maybe she's tired or she just doesn't want to do it. So she pulls out her camera and she knows exactly how to speak to her man to get him to start moving this kayak. And in fact, she does it so well that he starts kayaking away. But I want you to take notice of what Margarita just did in her last video and the difference between the wife and then the dream girl. And I want you to look at the similarities between how she spoke to the guy in her example as the dream girl and how this girl is speaking to her man in this video here. Okay, so let's watch it together.
Paddle then.
Oh, don't stop.
Paddle that shit. Dang. Paddle, go ahead.
Get his back because you
Go
have
ahead.
strangled.
Get us there, young king. Go ahead and young king. Get us there. Don't be a sore loser, little baby. Go ahead. Keep paddling. Keep paddling. Paddle.
Yeah, we can stay out here all day.
Move them muscles.
Stay out here all
And you
day.
look buff. You look so buff. You could paddle us both. You looking real buff. You could paddle us both. Look at you. Oh, paddle us both.
Okay,
Daddy. Paddle us both, Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Tip this whole thing
You
over.
a king. Paddle it.
Yeah.
Paddle
Talk to me
it.
nice.
I am
Talk
talking to you. You
Talk
better.
to me nice. Hey, watch it.
So take notice, okay? And actually, this is actually really funny because she does both in this video. So at the beginning of this video, right, she's talking to him like, yo, paddle, come on. Then halfway through the video, she realizes, no. If I actually wanted him to get him to paddle it, I got to talk to him differently to get that result. So you can actually see when she does it the wrong way at the beginning, he doesn't move, right? He's not budging because it immediately is like, oh, yeah, like I'm not doing this. I don't want to do this. But then when she starts talking to him, like you guys should like gassing him up, right? And it's like, oh, paddle us both, daddy. You so strong and so buff. Now all of a sudden he want to paddle.
Dang. Paddle. Go ahead.
Get his back because you
Go
have
ahead.
strangled.
Get us there, young king. Go ahead and young king. Get us there. Don't be a sore loser, little baby. Go ahead.
See, when she says don't be a sore loser, now he's offended. What? I'm a sore loser? Bro, what are you talking about?
Keep paddling. Keep paddling. Paddle.
Yeah, we can stay out here all day.
Move.
Look, you see what he said? We could stay out here all day. See, his stance is to be defiant because she's calling him out for not paddling. Now, watch when she changes her tune to being the opposite, right? And she starts speaking to him a different
The
way.
muscles.
Stay out here all
And you
day.
look buff. You look so buff. You could paddle us both. You looking real buff. You could paddle us both. Look at you. Oh, paddle us both. Okay, paddle us both, Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It's funny, but like this actually works. So just take note of that, right? I'm not saying that, you're a bad person if you don't do this, but just take note of that is that men respond to certain cues. And when you get good, see, part of joining the Players Club is not saying, I don't like how men are and I don't like how they act, so I'm not going to do anything for them. It's understanding if you want something from men, you can actually get that. And then there's a strategy to getting that. And if you understand how they think and how they operate, how they receive stuff, you can get anything that you want. Okay. And when you get anything that you want, you'll be happy. He'll be happy. Everyone will be happy. Okay. So I'm glad that I found this video here because actually I mentioned this video a couple times and I just never was able to find it. So I'm glad that I found it for you guys here. But yeah, that's a perfect example of that. Okay. Someone said, how can that beautiful girl be with that man? You'd be surprised. So let's go to our next one here.
Quick one. Men cannot go backwards sexually. I hope hearing this will help a lot of women make the best decision for them when they're in the heat of the moment. Because I know as women, sometimes it's easier to just go with the flow. Or you haven't thought about what's going to happen if he makes certain advances. So you're kind of like a deer in headlights. And I'm never talking about any kind of situation where there's force or coercion. I'm talking about you're just two adults in the heat of the moment. And there are so many women who will reach out to me and say, oh, I was with him and we did this. What do I do now? So I know that a lot of women don't even go into situations intending for certain things to happen, but then they do happen. So what I want us to get into the mindset of doing is thinking about the possibilities before we go there and having our response ready. So if you know that you don't want to sleep with him, put through your mind, okay, if I go to his house, this is going to happen. He might try and do this. He might try and do, am I strong enough? Can I handle that? If not, maybe we shouldn't go to his house. Maybe we should go here. Because baby, one thing about desire sneaks up on you. It's a burglar. And it wants to steal your body count, honey. And then what happens basically is a lot of women are stuck because they've done it once. And because they've done it, the man is now expecting it. And men don't often give you space to be like, oh, we don't have to do that again if you don't feel like it. It's kind of like you've done it now. That's what's expected. Not that anyone should be expecting anything of your body, but I'm saying in the interactions where you both want to be there. So always before you meet up with a man, run through like where it could go. Like think about these things before you get there. Don't let these things just happen to you and then you be reactive. Be very proactive and assertive about how you want your situation with that man to look. And then plan out what you're going to do when he does what he does as a man. Because inevitably, men are going to man are going to men. So have your game plan ready so you're not caught unawares. Because like I said, men cannot go backwards. Now, like I always say, there's always an exception to the rule. For best results, assume it.
So what Betts is here saying here is actually something really important that I want you guys to take note of. Remember, we talked about at the very beginning of the show, men pursuing, if he wants you, desires you, he's going to, try and put his best foot forward and he's going to press a little bit. So you have to understand, like, that mindset is a mindset. And so it doesn't turn off for some things and turn on for others. I say that to say when he's in the process of pursuing, he will pursue and he will push. And not that he'll ever do something that you're uncomfortable with, but he will continue to push. And if you continue to say yes, okay, he will continue to push until he gets to wherever he's going. So I just say that to help you understand. It's not meant to be like, oh, men are bad for pushing or men are bad for pursuing or, trying to sleep with you. But you have to understand, if he desires you and he wants you, he's going to make attempts at it. That doesn't make him a bad person. What would make him a bad person is if he made attempts at it despite you telling him no, and then he went on to continue pushing, obviously. But if he likes you, he is interested in you, he thinks you guys are vibing, of course he's going to say, hey, let's go back to my place. Let's drink some wine. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy each other some more. You understand what I'm saying? That doesn't make him a bad person. Some guys might do that and some guys might not, but don't think that he's necessarily a bad person because he's pushing a little bit, he's pursuing a little bit, he's pressing a little bit. If you're saying okay and you're saying yes to these things and you're consenting. So I say that to say, like Betts just mentioned in her video here, be aware of the fact that like guys are going to do things to escalate. So if you know that you don't want to escalate things to a point where you're in an uncomfortable position, then you have to be looking ahead at your situation and saying, okay, I have to draw the line somewhere. Even if I'm enjoying my time with him, even if I like him, even if I think this is so amazing and going so well, I have to draw the line somewhere. That way, this doesn't continue escalating until I finally am like, now it's like I made mistakes. Because, a lot of you come into the Players Club, and then when you guys ask me questions, like in the Discord that we do, you guys are like, well, Tomisin, I made all the mistakes and I did everything wrong and I slept with them on the first night. So how can I undo all of that? And unfortunately, most of the time, the answer is you effed up. You done effed up, because it's hard to reverse all of that once you do that all wrong. And I say that to say, be aware of that when you're going out on your dates. Don't spend your time in la la land and just going with the flow, because guys will be escalating and they'll be pushing. So if you're going with the flow and just saying yes to everything, he'll push, he'll do the next one. You'll say yes, he'll push, he'll do the next one. You'll say yes. And if you're not good at setting boundaries somewhere, you'll sleep with them and then you'll be like, oh, now you don't like me anymore because now this was the first night and we slept together and now you don't want anything to do with me. And then you'll be like, Tomisin, what do I do now? We don't want you in that situation. So if you know, this is where you have to be self-aware. If you know, when you start drinking some wine, it goes straight to your squirtle, straight in between your legs, and you start getting horned up, avoid the wine. If you know when you start smoking that you get real horned up, you can't control yourself, avoid the weed. If you know when you start tongue kissing with the guy, you lose control if he's a good tongue kisser, you like feeling on other guys' tongues and you start, your brain just gets scrambled, probably want to avoid the tongue. I really mean that. Like, you have to have a level of self-awareness. Like, okay, who am I really? What are the factors that would put me into temptation's way and make me lose my control? Because if you don't be honest with yourself about that, then they're gonna do the thing. You're gonna be triggered, and you're gonna be like, "What am I gonna do now?" Okay. So just remember that if you're touch deprived, probably make sure that you aren't even in a private place with him where he can be touching on you so much that you can lose your mind. Because at least if you're touch deprived and he's touching you in public, first of all, his touches will be a lot more public appropriate, hopefully. And second of all, even if you are feeling the juices flowing, it'll be harder for you to jump on top of him when you're in public, because obviously there's other people around. So just keep in mind the type of person you are and be self-aware and look forward to situations. Be proactive, like Beth said, and make sure that you put yourself in a position to win and not in a position to be succumb to temptation. All right. Someone says, get on the rose before you meet him. You can use the rose if that's your thing. You can use the Tracy's dog, because that one has the sucking mechanism and the penetration mechanism and the vibe mechanism. It's all of that in one. I thought of everything for you. That's why I recommend you guys the Tracy's dog sucking vibe, because it does it all. So I put it even in my link in my description and in the link in my bio. You just scroll down where it says the toy, and you go and get it. All right. And I really mean that, because it's been such a problem for some of you. What do? I'm so horned up, I couldn't think straight. Okay. Get yourself unhorned up, rub a couple out, or suck a couple out, depending on who you are, or penetrate a couple out, whatever you like. And then go on to the date. That way, at least you have it out of your system, that you're not like so tense and so built up that you lose your mind. All right. We don't want you losing your marbles here.
A man will never respect a woman who allows his disrespect. You do not get to move into that wife category, and there is a psychological.
Some of you were asking for the link. The link is available in my TikTok bio. Scroll down where it says toy. There's 2 or 3 different toy options, or you can go, if you're on YouTube, it's the link in my description. Scroll down where it says toy recommendations and you'll see it.
Reason for this. So often I see women wanting to move into this Mother Teresa mode. So many of my clients are greatly empathetic, they're compassionate, they're caring people. Instead of walking away from disrespect, they try to understand the disrespect. And of course it's going to have roots in trauma. Some of my clients will feel very guilty, like I can't leave because this person that I'm seeing, they've been abandoned before. I want to show them that people can be different. But psychologically, what happens when we're disrespecting someone is on some level, we feel bad because we know it's the wrong thing to do. And that is when cognitive dissonance will kick in. See, our brain don't like it when two things are different. If I am disrespecting someone, then I might have to come to a realization that I'm not a very good person. And my brain is not going to let me do that. So what does the man's brain do when he is disrespecting you? He has to then come up for a reason for why. The brain then says, oh, well then this thing must be of lesser value, and so it deserves to be treated less. Because why would something let me treat it so terribly? Why would something let me lie to it, cheat on it? It must have lower inherent value. Either that or I'm a piece of shit. Most people don't want to admit or look at themselves, look in the mirror, then see that they're a piece of shit. So this whole time you think he's going to see you in a better light because you're kind, you're compassionate, you're caring. Meanwhile, his brain will continue to devalue you until he eventually leaves or you get brave enough to raise your standards about what you deserve and have your actions match those. A man will never respect a woman who allows.
So, what she's saying, what Julie is saying here in her video is actually very powerful. Don't allow yourself to get mistreated for the sake of feeling like you're helping someone who is in need of help. At the end, like, I know that this sounds horrible, but at the end of the day, you have to look out for you first. I know that it sounds so selfish and it sounds like, you know, I'm saying that you should be an unkind person. I'm not. You can be a kind person, but at the end of the day, if you don't stand up and look out for you, nobody will. And you can't be looking for other people in your life to stand up or look out for you more than you look out for you and stand up for you. Okay. So just remember that. And don't allow guys to mistreat you and then you start making the excuses for them that, I don't want to abandon them and I want to prove to them I can be you don't need to prove nothing to nobody. You need to prove to yourself that you're going to be in a relationship that you actually deserve. And if you don't deserve this or how he's treating you, don't make excuses for guys for treating you less than how you deserve. They can figure out, unfortunately, I know that you love some people and you want to be there for them and things like that. But unfortunately, you have got to make decisions for you first. And if you ever come to the realization that a guy in your life isn't serving you in this relationship and he's not giving you the treatment that you expect, you have to walk away for you first before you stay for him. Okay? Right? Does that make sense? For those of you who are wondering the name of the person, her name is Julie Theis. Go into my YouTube stream. For those of you who are on TikTok, watch the YouTube stream. It's just my name on top of my head on the top right, Tomisin Atobatele. Watch the YouTube stream. You will see all of the creators that I put in my TikTok, compilation here. You'll see their names at the top right. That because obviously I can't put it there, so you'll see it there. I credit them all there on the YouTube stream. All right, let's hop into our next segment here. You should know what our next segment is if you've been here a while. Spam it up in the chat if you know what time it is. I'm going to ask you all in the chat, are you aware what time it is? Don't look at the clock. Don't look at your watch. Don't look at your phone. Don't look nowhere else in your home. It's an amazing time. It's an awesome time. It's a time where you're going to laugh and you're going to cry. If you don't know, I'm going to tell you so you know. Okay, chat, let's hop right into it. Let's get serious here. Discord time is a very special time for those of you who are confused. It's a time where all the members of the Discord community get an opportunity to ask me a question about their relationship or situationship, and I answer it live on the show. Okay, so now you have multiple options to send in your question so that I can answer it for you. You can do our first option, which is just by putting it into our free Discord section, relationship advice here. You access that by going into the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Okay, and access that and ask your question in the format other people have been asking it. Now, you see how all these questions are highlighted? That's because I haven't gotten to them yet. And if you put your question in relationship advice, the free section, it's going to be a couple of weeks before I get to yours because I got to go by the oldest ones that I haven't answered first. So it's like 23 days ago. So I got to do those ones first. Okay, that's just how we have to do it to be fair. Now, if you're too impatient to get your question answered in a couple of weeks, you want it answered like today or tomorrow very quickly, okay? You have another option to donate to get into Relationship Advice Premium, which is the same concept as the free one, except in order to get your question answered before I go to the free ones, because this is like skipping the line, you donate to the show. When you donate to the show through the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube, you got to make sure you're doing it through the donation link, okay? Not just randomly. You donate to the show through those links, and then you you're prompted to put in your title of your question and your Discord username. I get a notification on my phone. I'm able to confirm that that's you. I know that that's you and that's your question. And then I let you skip the line and I get to yours first before I go into the free section, okay? So that's for you that are too impatient to wait. Make sure you guys aren't donating anywhere else except for the donation link where it says Premium Relationship Advice, if you want that and you want to be able to skip the line in the Discord, okay? Now, for those of you who want to get my opinion on your situation and want me to give you advice, but you just don't want to have your, all your business out here in front of everyone to watch on the show, that's fine. You also have the option to send in your question to our private relationship advice section. It's not a section really, but you just utilize this link. It's in the Discord as well, or you can access it through the TikTok bio, my TikTok bio, or my YouTube description where it says private relationship advice. You click on that and then you fill out this form and it'll take you to the form to fill out real quick. And then you send in your question. It goes directly to me and my email address. And then I respond to you through your email address that you used to fill out the form. And I send you back a response via email and you'll get it in your inbox. And I'll respond via voice message to your situation. Okay. So you have multiple options to get an answer from me that way. Now let's hop into our first premium question here of the day, which comes from Mickey's. Okay. Mickey says, help before Friday date. Okay. By the way, premium questions are also great for time sensitive situations, especially since it'll take me weeks to get to your question. Hi, I am 29. I have been dating a 30-year-old man for exactly a month. I've done my best with all your advice and he gives me princess treatment. Taking me on 2 dates per week, buying gifts, paying for my nails. I got him to spill his guts as you instructed. I've withdrawn when needed, and he's made it clear he's afraid of me, knowing there is a graveyard of men he can join if he doesn't act right. So you've been listening to this pretty much perfectly, okay? So let's see. He confessed lots of feelings for me and expressed desires for the future over time, and I've not validated him, but given him dog treats, as you said. As of now, I do really like him, but have been intentional about pacing things. He says he plans to make things official once he knows I feel comfortable with the decision. So everything's good. The concern, he's 3 years divorced with a 4-year-old and primary custody. The ex lives in a different city, but she gets the child most weekends and summers. He said things are amicable, yet very separate. No pineapples or such since 2021. So you're talking about him and his ex haven't slept together since 2021. While at dinner last night, it came up through my questions that she may come here once a year for a birthday or sporting event. What do you mean? Like for their child's birthday? What does that mean? And stays with him. See what type of answers you get when you ask a lot of questions, okay? This is good. You're getting somewhere good now. Let's see where this goes. I asked, did she come while he was dating the girl before me? You're good. See, you're good. You don't just get offended and stop asking. You ask some good questions here, and you're gonna get some good answers, I'm sure. He said yes. Twice. But he spent almost all his time with his current girlfriend the first time and then stayed at the girlfriend's house the second. We unpacked that and he asked how I feel about that. This is perfect. You so far you did this perfect. Okay? I said I don't have an exact answer at the moment, but expressed concern and asked when she may come next. He said maybe Saturday. I asked how long he's known. He said since Monday. I asked when he planned to tell me, and he said tonight. Quite convenient, right? He planned to tell you, and now you guys are having a conversation after you extracted this information. Okay? You did a good job. You're actually good. You're very good. Because you extracted that info. He was not going to offer that. You extracted that information out of him. I told him it feels as if he withheld this. He did. As we were having the initial conversation, and only because I asked the right questions did he tell me, that's right. You are a detective. You're good. You're good. You should be in that line of work. He apologized and said he was nervous about telling me. Can you give me advice on how to proceed? We have a movie date Friday night, and he already bought tickets, and right now I'm withdrawing. Also, I'm running out of questions to ask to gather information. You're already doing a good job. For clarity, we've had very open conversations about his marriage, their relationship, and how future potential wife fits in the picture. So I felt blindsided as he was initially very upfront about everything, or so I thought, and now he has me effed up. Yes, the child's. Oh, you're answering my question. Okay, so you're talking about, yes, it's the child's birthday that she comes from. It's good because when you were saying birthday, I thought maybe you meant like for her birthday. She likes to party in the city or something and come for yeah, that's good. At least it's the child's birthday. So here's the thing. If she's coming, okay, this is a little bit of a delicate situation. So the things I regularly say might not apply to you simply because this is a very niche situation. Excuse me. If she's coming to his place for the purpose of their son's or child's birth or daughter's birthday, okay? That is specifically for the purpose of the fact that it's their child's birthday, okay? Or a sporting event. So like, for example, he has custody, right? So that means that their child goes to school in the area that he lives in, meaning that the sporting events and clubs that he's joined a part of are all in his area. And you mentioned up here, he has primary custody and the ex lives in a different city. So what probably is the reason that they're doing this is for the fact that if they're both going to attend something like an event or a birthday party or something like that, they do this out of convenience that, hey, obviously we live in different cities and she probably doesn't want to be driving and stuff like that to get to the event and wants to be there for the whole thing. So in order for special events where they are both supposed to be there, she comes over for those things. Now, okay? This is where I can't advise you to just say, oh, don't talk about it, withdraw, and expect him to know how to fix this. Because you have to have an adult conversation in order to maneuver through the nuance there. Because this is what you have to understand. He's not inherently doing something wrong because the mother of his child comes over to his house, where obviously he has primary custody, to attend a birthday party or sporting event, if that's the truth. Okay, that's not a crime. That's still the mother of his child. Doesn't mean he has to hate her or despise her because, that's the mother of his child and they're not together. And a birthday party or a sporting event is a very reasonable reason for her to be there, especially if they don't live in the same city and it's a hassle for her to be going back and forth for those important events. Okay, that now here's the thing. This is all assuming that this is truthful, meaning that after the birthday, she goes back home. After the sporting event, she goes back home. There isn't no funny business going on. This is where after you have this conversation with him. So I'm going to explain to you how you're going to go about the conversation. But then after you have the conversation, you need to be very vigilant and aware of what is going on and transpiring and taking notice of some things. Because like you said, you've been dating this guy and this has been going on for, did you say how long? A month. Okay. So you guys have only been dating for a month. So there's still, I know you said you ran out of questions to ask. Trust me, there's still much more for you to know and getting an understanding of, especially because in this situation here, he didn't offer you that information. You're just very good at extracting it. So you extracted that information. There's nothing wrong with that. It's good. But I want you to keep that in mind. He can tell you, he was about to tell you in 1 second and 30 seconds just before you asked him. Regardless, you extracted the information. So you always have to have in the back of your mind, he didn't offer this to you. So, meaning there could be things omitted or curated so that you're not upset. I mean, he even said it himself. The reason he didn't tell you right away is because he thought that you might be upset at him. Okay? And so you have to take that into account. If he's telling you that he didn't have this conversation with you initially because he thought that you might be upset, right? Like you said, he apologized and said he was nervous about telling me. Then think to yourself, he may have also omitted some things or changed some things up because he doesn't want you to be upset. Remember, we're only a month in here of you guys dating. So I'm not saying this because I want to turn you into a pessimist, but you do have to become very vigilant now with a situation like this. Because when we're talking about an ex, and especially when we're talking about an ex that you also have, that person also has a child with, there can be a lot of gray area the moment there's not a black and white line. Are you following me? So anything that's not black and white can easily become gray when it's the mother or the father of your child, because, we're both parents, so we got to be together. And being together means we got to talk about stuff. When we talk about stuff, sometimes we hang out, but we're not hanging out for us. We're hanging out for our child. And when we're hanging out for our child, sometimes we cuddle to feel like a family. And sometimes I insert myself inside of her so that we feel closer together, because when we're more bonded, we're better parents. And so it's just like it can easily spiral out of control if there's not a very clear distinction between us parenting and us doing, another thing. And so I'm not saying that he's necessarily lying. I'm not going to accuse him of that because what he said here is not inherently wrong, but there has to be a boundary here. And so what I advise you to do is I advise you, honestly, before the movie, in fact, even if you have to say F the movie, have a conversation with him, because honestly, this will be on your mind so hot, you won't even be able to enjoy the movie unless you have this conversation first. So F the movie, have an in-person conversation instead, even if it's just in the car. And you need to lay down the law on how you feel about this. Meaning, this is something, the reason I want you to address this is because I want you to leave no room for confusion as towards how you feel about this and the fact that you want this to be a clear boundary. That way, in the future, if there's any miscommunication or gray area, he can't say, oh, well, you didn't tell me that's what you wanted, or you didn't tell me that you felt the need that this would be a boundary, okay? That's why I want you to actually come to him about this, because this situation has a lot of nuance in it. You don't want people to say, I didn't know. Because like I said, it's not necessarily a bad thing that she comes over for birthdays or sporting events, but there needs to be a clear line, because you can't step up and say, hey, I have been dating you for a month and I don't expect you to allow the mother of your child to sleep over so that she can attend a birthday or sporting event. That's too much. But you're fair in saying that a boundary of mine is that if, you're having, parenting with the mother of your child, there has to be a very clear line between what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. So if we're dating, I don't expect to just be seeing her randomly. And I also don't expect for when she comes over, you guys are sleeping in the same bed or anything like that. And this is where you're going to have to start, rather than before you just tell him how you feel, this is the strategy I want you to use. Think about every boundary you have as it relates to him and the mother of his child. okay? And everything that you wouldn't like to happen. Then I want you to ask him if this has ever happened when she's come over. So remember how you did it earlier, where you essentially said when you were with your other girlfriends before, did your baby mother ever come over while you were with those girlfriends? You see how you asked that, then he answered it, then you kind of gave him your opinion after? Same thing. So when you're having this conversation, I want you to ask the question of the boundary you're weary of first, right? Then see what his response is. Then after that, tell him how you feel about that boundary. Okay? Because what I don't want to happen is you tell him all the boundaries first, and then he just says, oh yeah, I already don't do that. Or, oh yeah, I already don't have a problem. Or, oh yeah, that's already how it is. Right? You want him to just answer truthfully, and then you give your opinion on how you feel. Okay? So I want you to have a whole conversation with that about everything you feel is a boundary based on what he told you, and then see how he responds. So the response is going to tell you a lot. If he is pushing back against all the things that you're saying, and he's like, oh no, me and her have to sleep in the same bed together because it's not really a big deal. We like to cuddle with our child because our child smile. Okay, sure. Now you just move on, okay? Because but if you see his responses, I completely understand where you're coming from, and I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, and I'm going to make sure that I set this boundary and this and that, and you see him actually being proactive and trying to come up with solutions and compromises that work for both of you, then you say, okay, we'll see how it goes now. And you allow him to show you that he's serious about that and actually willing to make those compromises. Because remember, it's only been a month. So this does need to be addressed, but you want to ask him the questions first, see what he's done in the past, then address how you feel about it, and then gauge his response. And you just have to set it as this is a boundary for me and myself, and what I'm willing to deal with and not. You can't say you're wrong for doing this, you're wrong for doing that, you're wrong for just keep it focused on you and what your boundaries are. Let him tell you if he's willing to compromise with you on that, and acknowledge that that's a boundary, and see what works for you, both of you, or if he's just going to push back and say, oh yeah, I don't care, we sleep in the same bed because we're both parents and da. If that's the case, if that's his approach, then just forget about him. Don't waste your time on him. Okay. Let's go to our next one here. Our next one comes from Hoods. Okay. Hoods. I wonder what type of men you like. 7 years later, I still can't forget him. Oh boy. Hood starts off. Hi, Tomisin. Thank you for helping us. Amazing content. You are amazing. Long ago, I was ghosted by my high school boyfriend. Let's call him Jake. It's been like 7 years, okay? I didn't get no explanation. He just disappeared. Back then, it wasn't even the social media era for me or him. It was like an in-person relationship. So when he disappeared, I couldn't even reach out to him or even know if he's alive. Plus, he never responded. He changed homes and schools as well. Back then, of course, I was a teen and very naive and all la la land type of girl. So I waited for him for so long, hoping he still loves me and all that crap. Of course, now I'm way different. I'm clear with my boundaries, standards, and my needs, and don't even tolerate a slow reply / signs of disinterest. I just cut them off. Not to mention, he is a very attractive man. 6'2". He's got an Arnold Schwarzenegger build. He's an actor and a supermodel. I recently met him and realized how much he has changed and grown. Tomisin, it's been like 7 years now. I've dated around 4 people after him, and 2 long, serious relationships of 2 years each. I went off social media a year ago to get over my last ex, and it was a painful ending. After I saw Jake, I got over my ex in seconds. anytime I hear someone say this, I know it's not real. I'm not saying, Hoods, your feelings aren't real. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your feelings for your last ex didn't magically disappear. What happened is you now are seeing your old guy again for the first time. You're mesmerized because now he's bigger, he's stronger. Oh my God, supermodel. Oh my God, schlong, 85 inches. And you're mesmerized now. And now you're just taking you're just transferring your energy. So energy can easily be transferred and shifted. You're shifting your energy, which was in pain of your last relationship, and you're just transferring it now to being mesmerized by this guy that you haven't seen in a while. And now, because you're mesmerized by him, all of your attention and energy is shifting to the possibility of being with him instead of the pain of ending with your ex. So now you've taken, because obviously when you end a relationship, there's no more hopium to live off of, okay? Hopium is what we call in the Players Drug. It's like a Players Club. Players Club, it's a drug that you can live off of and get high off of to keep encouraging yourself to keep doing this relationship that's not working. So what you're doing is there's no more hopium when the relationship ends with someone. So that's painful. But now that you meet Jake again for the first time in 7 years, your hopium can spike again. Because now it's like, oh my God, imagine what my life would be like if I was with Jake again. Look at him, 6-pack, huge body, broad shoulders, so tall, so handsome, schlong, so crazy. Everything's amazing about him, right? So now you're filled with hopium again because of the possibility of being with Jake. Your feelings actually didn't end for your last ex. You're just now trying to attempt to transfer them onto and project them onto Jake now. Okay? That's not good. That's not good. Because you didn't miss Jake when you were, or at least you didn't say it. You didn't say you missed Jake when you were with any of your exes. Only when you broke up with your ex did you realize how much you want Jake now. It's just convenient. And it took seconds. Wow. Over my ex in seconds and remembered about Jake. And I started realizing how I'm still not over this man. Convenient how you realize you're not over him as soon as you became single and you were getting over a previous breakup. I know, Hoods, that you're being honest, but see, when you write it, this is actually part of the therapy of the Players Club and the Discord. When you write it out and you put your feelings on a page, sometimes it can become obvious what the problem or the issue is. Because saying that you got over a painful 2-year relationship in seconds after just seeing another guy, that's not natural, okay? It's not magic. And you're not living in a fairy tale. Your feelings don't just disappear like that. What you're doing is you're projecting, and it's very obvious, okay? It's been 7 damn years, probably more. He ghosted me, didn't treat me right. It's been so many years. Why can't I forget the specific person? No, what you're doing is you're projecting, and you're also going off the fact that things just ended so abruptly. It's like someone dying, okay? So you know how when someone just, if someone were to tragically just be unalived and you never expected it, it just feels so abrupt, like you never got to say goodbye. So it's the same thing here. Not only are you projecting your feelings from your old relationship onto him, because you don't know him now after 7 years, and you're also going back in your memory banks and realizing that you never got closure with this. So you're just saying, oh, because I never got closure, I still like you, and it's not real. Okay. With my last ex, I loved him so much, yet I was able to cut him off due to him crossing my boundaries and being not aligned with my standards. So essentially what you're saying is you had closure because you knew this wasn't going to work. With Jake, you didn't. I had pineapples with my ex. It was a way deeper connection than with Jake. So what are you saying? I haven't had pineapples with Jake. Oh my God. Do you not see it? I barely even held hands. Do you not, Hoods? Do you not see it? Here, you don't actually really, really like Jake. You might think he looks good or whatever. I'm not denying that you think he looks good and you liked him at one point. What I'm saying is you have now built a fantasy of him in your mind because now because you're sad about the old guy, you don't want to be sad about the old guy anymore. You've now began to fantasize about being with Jake as a way of transferring your energy and your focus onto him. You literally just said, with my ex, it was way deeper connection. I think you might say then with Jake. I haven't even had pineapples with Jake and I barely even held hands. So you're literally saying, I don't actually have a concrete reason to like Jake more or to feel more connected with Jake. And that's because you don't. Your feelings for Jake aren't really for Jake. Your feelings for Jake are for your ex. You just shifted them onto Jake to forget about your ex. Are you following what I'm saying? Because that is exactly precisely what you're saying. You're saying I'm mesmerized by Jake, but then you're also saying I don't have any reason to be mesmerized by Jake. In fact, if I actually think back to my relationship with Jake, it's way less deep, way more shallow, and way less went on. So you're actually acknowledging that these aren't feelings for Jake. Are you following what I'm saying? You're actually laying it out how the feelings you're feeling inside your soul, your spirit, and your Squirtle aren't for Jake. They're for your ex. You just put Jake's name on them to forget about your ex. Do you see what I'm saying here? Even in the future, I can cut anyone off easily. I'm like that. Plus, I believe it's probably because I was a teen and he was my first boyfriend, and I was affected by a lot. Even though I wouldn't break a sweat or tolerate it now, it was probably a strong imprint on me back then. No. Okay. When you're a teen, you don't even know yourself. Okay. And truthfully and honestly, when you're a teen in teen relationships, it's not as deep as connection as you're imagining. Okay. It's let's like puppy love. You don't even know what's going on. I just say that to say you're imagining a deep connection with Jake because you want Jake to be the new guy you can focus on. I don't honestly really think you had that deep of a connection with Jake. Okay. I honestly don't. Like you said, you guys didn't sleep together and you guys barely held hands. I think the abruptness of how it ended is what's making you feel this way, and the fact you want to shift your feelings onto Jake. Plus, because he ghosted me, I bottled up so much emotion over the time and didn't get to say it. The worst part of this all is my last ex is now friends with him. What? How did they become friends? What? He is the type of guy to make up fake lies about me and tell him. He once told Jake, I'm a hoe. Which is not obviously true because I only ever had pineapples with my last ex. Also, I know I don't want to date him because I know he's not the man I'm looking for in terms of loyalty or whatnot. It's like I want to prove him wrong just to show him what he lost or just to gain validation from him. I'm not like this to anyone. I'm gonna take a stretch, chat. I'm gonna take a stretch. Just to, just to get some of just to get some of the pressure out. You don't see it. Do you guys, the chat, do you see it or no? Are you seeing it or no? Because I feel like it's pretty obvious to me. And I feel like Hoods is the only one not seeing it. Chat, do you see it or no? Are you seeing what's going on here or chat, are you confused too? Because I see it pretty clearly. Okay. Okay. Let's go on and then we'll break this all down. Okay. It's just him. I don't know why. Even though I know it's not worth it. Part of me only wants to tell him that he's been hearing all lies about me and that I'm not a hoe or whatnot. It feels so wrong and heartbreaking to know that he only hears crap about me. We haven't had a proper talk since he ghosted me. After years as adults, we had small talks. What do you do now? And all, that's about it. I have tried writing everything down like you once told in a video, but it didn't do much. Helped with my ex, yes, thankfully, not with Jake. It really drains me, Tomisin. I need a way out of this to stop thinking about him. It makes me feel like I'm obsessed. You haven't had one real conversation with him in a long time. Edit. Hi, Tomisin. I'm so glad you read my previous question about the story I found online and remixed it with my own touch. Husband overseas, brother story line. It was from online. Everything else I wrote. Haha, you all got me, smart girls in the chat. Oh, that was your story? Okay. Anyways, I'm assuming this is a real story. Okay. Anyways, hoods. Here's the thing. What's happening with you and Jake is two things. One, you have built up him in your mind based on the fact that your relationship just ended abruptly. So since it ended abruptly, you're now basically you never got a chance to grieve the relationship, and now you're like, oh, maybe I still like him. Maybe there's still something going on. No, there's nothing going on. Okay, I don't want to burst your bubble here, and I don't want to disappoint you, but I can assure you, I don't want to make you feel bad. Jake is not thinking of you. Okay, he's not. 7 years ago, whatever the reason, like you said, you guys didn't sleep together or even hold hands. Jake's not thinking of you. Jake's a supermodel now. I'm sure Jake since then in 7 years has had plenty of other girlfriends. You're also living, I don't want to be mean to you, but you're living in a bit of a delusion where you think that everyone actually cares about like what they hear about you, that Jake is actually sitting at home like, oh my God, I can't believe what I heard about Hoods today. She is such a garden tool. I can't believe she let all those guys sleep with her. I used to put Hoods on a pedestal. I used to worship her on a shrine. I used to think she was the most pure, amazing, beautiful, talented, smart, intelligent woman in all the land. And now that I know that Hoods is a garden tool that gets utilized and taken advantage of by every other guy, I now know that I can't worship her on a shrine. He doesn't care. I promise you, he doesn't care. So you're putting so much pressure on yourself as if he's sitting at home even thinking about this. And I promise you he's not. If he was truthfully and honestly, because you're thinking, well, how do you know that? You're not sure about that. I promise you, in 7 years' time, if he was actually thinking of you, he would have reached out to you, had a conversation with you, and tried to meet up with you to catch up. He hasn't done that, and all you guys have had is passing conversations that really didn't talk about nothing, okay? So I just say that to say he is not thinking of you. Don't and understand that you're not even actually thinking of him. You're only concerned with the fact that, your relationship ended abruptly, so you feel like there's unfinished business there, which there's not. It's been 7 years, and you guys dated in high school. Also, the other thing as well is that you feel like, oh, there's a new possibility with Jake because you broke up with your last ex. I actually think the person, and it's funny, I don't know how you don't recognize this because that's what I was saying. It's very clear to me. You have deep feelings for your ex that you spent 2 years with. And it's painful for you to come to the realization that it's over now, especially because you know that you stop seeing a future with your ex because you knew that this wasn't going to work out. So that is very, very painful. Okay. But what you did in order to stop feeling that much pain is you saw Jake and then you transferred all of that pain into excitement and hopium that you can be with Jake. Jake, I honestly, in my own opinion, Jake doesn't want you. He doesn't want to be with you. He doesn't think about you. and he's not trying to date you. So you're worried about, oh, what Jake might have been hearing all this stuff about me, and I just don't know, what do I do now, because now he might be thinking that I'm a garden tool, and he might be thinking that I'm not the woman that I want. It doesn't even matter. Jake's not going to date you. Even if he thought you were an amazing person, Jake's not going to date you. On top of that, you're also saying that you're dated now. Your ex of 2 years is what is essentially Jake's friend. So even in the hypothetical scenario in which you are an amazing girl, I'm sure you're an amazing girl, but you aren't any of the things that Jake's been hearing, and you're amazing enough that he could date you as well, he's less likely to date you already simply because you dated his friend for 2 years. So just get it out of your mind. Get it out of your head. You're not going to date Jake, and Jake's not thinking of you. Don't waste any more of your time thinking about Jake. Now, I want you to focus on working yourself through the actual situation that you need to work yourself through, because I honestly think you have literally spiraled yourself out of feeling anything for your ex and into feeling something for Jake. And it's actually insane, because I think you've actually convinced yourself that your feelings are no more for your ex and your feelings are only for Jake. You don't know Jake. You don't. You have no idea who he is. You know he's a model, and you know he looks good. In 7 years, especially, we're talking about 7 years from when you guys were teens in high school. Do you know how much someone can change from high school, 7 years after high school? Those are like the prime years after you graduate high school. Those like 5-6 years after you graduate. That's when everyone goes left, right, center, middle. You have some people that go and they're like now living in the upper class. They have great jobs. They're making $100K a year, 6 figures. Then you have some people who are like dead broke. They got minimum wage jobs. You might have some people homeless. You might have some people here and some people there. Like, that's when everyone's going through all their crazy changes. So I just say that to say, in 7 years after high school, you don't actually know Jake anymore. Like, don't be thinking that it's the same Jake you were with in high school is the same Jake he is now. And don't also assume that because he liked you in high school, he's going to like you now. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but you're thinking that like because he once liked you at one point, that he still likes you now, or there's still something going on between you guys. You're going to embarrass yourself if you think that something's going on between you and Jake, when I honest, truthfully, not to be mean to you hoods, I think he hasn't thought of you in years. And I think you're going to make a fool of yourself obsessing over a guy who's not even thinking of you. Because when you hit him up, you're going to be like, oh, I see you posted that red lasagna. It's the same lasagna that we ate the last time that, we were together. And I just feel like you were trying to send me a message by posting that red lasagna. He's going to be like, who are you again? What are you talking about? Who are you? You're going to be like, oh, I'm the girl you dated 7 years ago when we were in high school. He's going to be like, what? What's even your name? You get what I mean? Like, you're going to start convincing yourself that like things are going on and he's doing things for you because you guys have a thing, and he's not thinking of you. Not to be mean, he's not thinking of you. Please move on. Okay, I'm not saying that you can't grieve your situation, and you shouldn't, like, you should spend some time with just you, no more boys, because obviously you just left the relationship, and let's get away from Jake. Okay, let's stop going backwards. Jake's situation's over. Let's move forward and start meeting new people after you heal. Start meeting new people that aren't Jake. Okay, because I promise you, he's not thinking of you. Let's go to our next question here, which comes from TT. TT says, didn't I do a TT already? Huh. Thought I did. TT says, need advice, no Squirtle given. He's so distant after in-person dates. TT says, hello, everyone. I met a man last year at a work event. He brushed me off on 2 separate occasions until I finally gave in and gave him my number. We texted on and off for about a year. He initiated contact. Oh, I actually did this one. All right. Never vulgar. Always said about kissing, hugging. Didn't I do this one? Wait, maybe I didn't. All right, let's do it. We texted on and off for about a year. He always initiated contact, and finally we met in person for what he called our first date. I was interested in him, but I wasn't sure how I felt. I will admit, when he brought up pineapples, I was playful through text, never vulgar, and always stayed around talking about kissing, hugging, etc., and wouldn't respond when he brought up more direct pineapple-y related things like him filling me with him. Well, anyways, 2 hours into the date, he leaned in for a kiss and also physically picked me up. Is this Wattpad chat? It was so effortless and it drove me wild that after that moment in the date, I just saw him as this super sexy man, and I was taken aback by that in the first place. All we did was make out that date, and then after that, we texted on and off until our second date last weekend. We went out drinking. This is the worst thing to do. And dancing and grinded a lot and kiss. That was it. Yeah. He had his hands all over me, but over my dress. We didn't take it any further. But you're putting yourself in harm's way. Not harm's way, but temptation's way. Yeah, cool. You might not do it for now, but how long is that going to last? How sustainable is this? Where every time you see him, you're drunk and horned up and feeling on each other. Like, just like, be so for real. Like, don't be, you're smart. You're not an idiot. Be so for real. There's no way you can last or sustain this where every time you meet up, he's feeling over your dress. You guys are grinding the whole, imagine that. You're telling me you're grinding up on each other the whole night, drunk, out together, you're wet, he's hard the whole night. Do you honestly think that's sustainable to be able to consistently say no for the span of how long you're going to date him? Obviously, you're going to fold. Like you're saying it like, well, because we didn't do it this night, like that makes it any better. You're putting yourself in temptation's way and you're going to fold eventually. Let's see how it goes. Maybe you don't. Maybe I'm dumb. What I need guidance on is what this man wants. During our second date, he said he wanted me to meet his dad and introduce me as his girlfriend. And I explained, if we do that in my culture, we will be serious. And it means it's a serious relationship. He chuckled and said, well, I can start as a family friend. What? He's saying you can start as a family friend and then see how things go. What? I'm not sure what he wants from me. He barely texts me. We text maybe 3 times a week. No calls, just distance. But when we're in person, he's commenting I can be his girl. Obviously, he's commenting you can be his girl when you're grinding up on him and he's so hard that he literally has a wet stain in his pants. Do not take any seriousness to the things that guys are saying to you when they're horned up. I want to see what you said after this here, because this is a little bit more updated. I agree. I don't even want to have pineapples until I'm committed. He said he wants to get to know me and wants a future, but I feel he's doing something called future faking, where he pretends he wants something serious, but he really doesn't. In the first few weeks of texting heavily, he said we should be boyfriend and girlfriend and spouses. I knew something was up, but shoot, he's attractive. So once again, TT, you're not stupid, okay? A guy telling you that he wants you to meet his dad and then telling you that he wants to introduce you as a family friend is lost it. He's off the deep end. Don't waste your time on guys like that, okay? What he's more focused on is getting in your pants, okay? He's horned up. He wants to sleep with you. That's what he wants to do. He'll say anything that he can to sleep with you, okay? He'll do anything that he can to make it seem like he's here for the right reasons to sleep with you. And you're dead on the money, right? He's future faking this because I just don't think like... There's nothing wrong with him liking you or anything like that, but you just have to understand like this, like you have to be able to see the signs. Your relationship is really pineapple-y charged, okay? And it's so pineapple-y charged, eventually you and him are going to sleep together, okay? Because you guys, you're doing a lot of things that are going to make it harder and harder to say no. And my only thing is because it's so pineapple-y charged, you're eventually going to do it. And then I think then you're going to realize how he really feels about you. Because I just don't think when you're going out with him drunk on a night out, grinding the whole night, you're going to have much room to talk or have chit chat. And I think instead of the intimacy coming around the chatting and getting to know each other, you're having chit chat just in the moments where you're not grinding up all each other and feeling each other and having dirty talk. So I think the dirty talk and the grinding and the touching is the majority of the relationship, and the chit chat is just meant to be like just like a little like break from that. In which I say, when you finally do sleep together, what else is the relationship after that? And I think you're going to get a real good sense of what it is, or sorry, what it's not, after you actually sleep together. So I hope that you don't sleep together. But I will say, I think it's a mistake to continue seeing a guy like this, because I don't think, based on anything you said here, that he really has any serious intention of like building something with you. I'm not saying he's a bad person because he's horned up, but I just think he's more horned up than he is trying to like actually get to know you. Okay, just being honest with you as a guy. Next here we have, let's see. We have, this one was deleted. Exit. We have from Biblin. She says, hello, I'm 25. Sorry, ghosted and loved. Hello, I'm 25. I've been going out for less than 2 months with a 29-year-old guy, and we have a situationship of being kind of friends with benefits. What do you mean a situationship of kind of being friends with benefits? You're either this is ridiculous. Even in the friends with benefits, there's no clarity. You can't even just say we're friends with benefits. How can you be kind of friends with benefits? You're either friends with benefits or not. So tragic. The first day we met at a bar with his friends and we danced a lot. Then, when all the parties finished, he was going to take me home. But first, we went to eat some dinner. Don't call it dinner when you're leaving the club. What? You're leaving the club or the party at 2 a.m. and you guys are going to a sloppy burger spot at 2 a.m. at night downtown. Don't call that dinner, okay? I'm not trying to be mean to you. Just don't call that dinner. You're at a sloppy, disgusting burger spot with a whole bunch of other drunk people there, half passed out. Some people are on the floor. There's throw up on the floor, a bunch of dirty shoes and dirty Air Force Ones. That ain't no dinner. And then during the dinner, he opened his heart and shared some really hard things about his life. After the club, you guys go to a dirty, disgusting burger spot. Fries on the floor, throw up on the floor, dirty Air Force Ones. And he starts going on a drunk rant to you about the things that have been going on with him. That is not a relationship, and that is not a connection. He shared about his parents' divorce and how his dad abandoned him and his mom on a different country when he was a small kid. He told me about his best friend's suicide. I can't even say that. His best friend's unaliving. And I thought he was going to be a red flag that I should not have engaged in or allowed to take me seriously because I was heartbroken a short time ago and didn't trust guys at all. So what were you even doing here? What are you even doing here? There's nothing wrong with him sharing with you. That's not what I'm saying is bad. But don't think that you guys are actually building something here when he's having a drunk trauma dump on you after a night out. That's not real conversation. Real conversation is him telling you that same thing on a Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. when you guys are sober. That is a real conversation, and that's actually him sharing with you, not a drunk rant at 2:30 a.m. after he's got some burgers and fries in him and some Casamigos in him. Like, get for real. Then we finished. Why are you calling it dinner? You're going to get me mad. He suggested going to his apartment, and I accepted. So I made the mistake to... sleep with him since the very first night that I met him. Let me take a break. Let me take a break. Let me take a break. Oh my God. I'm like stress drinking. This water bottle was filled. There's like 2 liters in here, and I've almost drank the whole thing. I need to fix my space here. I need to realign my chakras and things like that. So I might have to start bringing crystals up in here so I can realign my chakras throughout the show. What's going on? Okay. So I made the mistake to sleep with him since the very first night that I met him. Now the thing is that I found out he lives with a girl. Which is supposed to be a lesbian. And that he's only helping her like a good friend. I can't even hold this. I don't know if I want to laugh or cry. This is so stupid. Not you, B. Blinn, you're not stupid, but this situation is so stupid. Like, you're wasting so much life away dealing with this guy. He apologized a lot. Because of that, if I would care so, then I care? What? And later on, he told me that she left the house. Okay. And while all this was happening, he disappeared from my life like 4 times. 3 were because things that made him apparently mad or uncomfortable, but we never stated any kind of positive nor negative feelings until I decided to do it, and I thought everything was flowing better and more correctly. But now he disappeared again, and it's almost been a week already that he hasn't looked for me or anything. He left some things in my room, and I realized he apparently made a playlist on his Spotify with the first letter of my name. Oh my! How does the delusion take you that far? I can't. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. The delusion is spiraling you. Oh my God. Oh my God. And the two songs on that playlist talk about our situation. Oh my God. Oh, we've lost her, chat. Oh, we've lost her. Chat, we've lost her. We've lost her. The delusion has taken her. And one of them says that I should be his side chick. So I don't know what to think. No way! There is no way. There is no way. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, I'm going to have to do a 24-hour stream. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way you actually think that the song on his playlist is speaking to you to tell you to be his side chick. I might have to turn off the stream. Oh my God. There's no way. There's no. There's no way you actually believe that. There's no way you actually believe how has your delusion taken you that far? There's no way you actually think that the song is speaking to you to tell you to be his side chick. I have to get up again. I can't believe it. I can't. Send that song into the Discord right now. Send it into the general chat right. You're watching the show. Beeblin, send that exact song and print out the lyrics. Put it in our Discord. I want to read that song. I want to listen to that song. I want to hear the beat. Send me the instrumental. I want to know the producer. Show me the artist. I want to see everything. Tell me the inspiration. Send me the music video. I want to see what song that is that you think spoke to you to tell you to be his side chick. Show it to me right now. Send it in the general chat right now. I have to know the name of that song. I need to hear it. I need to hear it immediately. If you think that, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. I'm trying to live my life and stopped reaching to him because he has to reach to me. But I'm feeling hurt because of everything. What's your question here? What is your actual question here? I don't get it. Chad, I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you want me to help you with? I really mean that. If you think the song is speaking to you through the phone, if that's what you believe, I don't think that I can even say anything to pull you out of your delusion if it's that far. Okay? I honestly don't think I can. Even if I sat here for 36 hours and talked to you and then broke down every sentence here and told you why it's untrue and told you why this is all fake and in your mind, you still wouldn't believe it. I honestly think all I can say, I'll do my part and tell you, leave this alone because you're wasting your time. Okay? The song is not speaking to you. Okay? Send it to me. Let's see actually. Maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about. Send it to us in the chat. Let's see if the song actually somehow has your name or is for you. Maybe he wrote it, okay? Maybe he's a producer on it. But in my estimation, the song is not speaking to you. The song is not a sign. None of this is a sign, okay? Get rid of that garbage. Move on with your life. And let's start loving you so that you don't waste a whole bunch of time loving other people who don't care about you, okay? I don't know why you called a dinner a drunk, I'm just gonna curse. I don't know why you called a dinner a drunk, like, I didn't even want to say fast food spot after you guys went out to party together. I'm also not sure why you even started this message with "we're kind of friends with benefits." You can't be kind of friends with benefits. You're either platonic friends or if you're not in a relationship and you're sleeping together, then you're friends with benefits. You can't be kind of that. This is a waste of your time. I don't know where any of this was going, and I don't even know if you have a question because it doesn't seem like you want to be helped by me. I'm not sure why you sent this in. You said also started this off with ghosted and loved. Where is the love here? What part of this is love? Chat, unless I'm missing a part 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 85 of this message, I don't know where he loves her or shows her any type of love. Having a drunk rant with you after a night out is not love. That's not connection. I don't know. You know what? I shouldn't even say I don't know why you think that, because clearly your delusion is taking you far. That's not what that is. Okay, it's a drunk rant. If that was a Tuesday afternoon, fine. Then we can say he's actually sharing some stuff with you. Having a drunk rant with you and going on about stuff that has been on in his life, that's what drunk people do. Okay? That doesn't mean you guys are having a thing or doing a thing. I don't know where, like there's no relationship here. I don't even know what to help you with. I'm sorry. I don't know. Ask me another question and then ask a question, because I don't know what you want help with here. Listen to your songs, I guess. I guess your songs can be your relationship and your refuge. I don't know what to help you with. The guy doesn't like you. He'll sleep with you, yeah? Cool. Just nothing else there. Okay, chat. We're going to end it there because I can't keep getting up like this and stretching. I'm going to have to end the show here. For those of you who let me look at my donations. I don't even know where there's a donation here. Let me check the donations and do the donations here. So Nicole donates $10 in the YouTube chat. She says, Tomisin, you are so precious, sending you love. Auntie Nicole, love. Keep drinking your water. Stay hydrated and peaceful. I confess that your anger makes me laugh so hard. I don't even know what to say to our last message. Chat, I really don't. Someone said do one more. My soul can't take it. I don't have enough. I need to recharge my chakras before I can even go to another one, because I don't understand. Send that song into the chat. BB Lynn, send that song into the chat. Send me the lyrics. Send all of us. Put it into the general chat. Send the lyrics. You better send the lyrics and send the song. Send the music video too. Anyways, chat. If you guys want to ask me a question, you can either donate to the show through the link in my bio on TikTok or the link in my description on YouTube. Go into where it says Relationship Advice Premium, send in your question, put the title of your username and the title of your question. If you want to send me a private question, you do it to the same links. You just click private question and you send it to me there. It's just between me and you. For those of you who are on TikTok, my Instagram is just up there, Tomisin_Tub. You can follow me there. It's just on the bottom right as well, Tomisin_Tub. You can follow me there to see what I'm doing on every day. For those of you who are on TikTok and you miss parts of the show, and you want to rewatch, I don't even know why you'd want to rewatch that last part. Probably you guys should just warn people to skip over that last part. You can rewatch the show on my Instagram, You can rewatch the show on my YouTube. It's just Tomisin. Just type it in. And when you rewatch that, you'll be able to get all the context of the show. Just go into the live section. You can watch it. There's the YouTube chat and the TikTok chat embedded in the video. Wow, Spotify. I'm here every weekday, Monday to Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can catch me again at that same time tomorrow at Friday. I'm going to attempt to recharge until then, and I'll see you at the same time on Friday. Until then, goodbye, hasta la vista, sayonara, ciao, salam, adios, arrivederci, bon voyage, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Oh boy, I'll see you again tomorrow.